Hey YouTubers and friends, how you doing out there? Great. We're doing well except on YouTube's end. So bear with us. We have a great guest and friend on tonight, David Peterson of DreamMat and ProspectorsDream.com. Whew. So don't go away. We'll be right back. YouTube's being a royal pain in the beeper tonight.
Got your own camera on, buddy.
Not now. It's on. Oh, that probably would help, you know. I do still have that other camera on. I usually remember to turn that off. Live entertainment for you, huh? Now stuff are frozen up on my side.
Well, I don't know about entertainment, but live for sure.
And we just lost David.
All right.
All right. I turned my mic back on. They're going to have to hear me.
Okay. I gotta get to where I can turn off my other camera.
Can they hear us? Can you hear us?
Oh, they should be able to hear us.
Can you hear us all, folks? Let's see. James is in the room. He showed up early.
Yeah. Hey, bro. How you doing?
Patrick O'Masters is there, but I don't know if I can hear it, if they can hear us.
Yeah, so I say, answer. Can you hear us? Say something.
It's lagging really bad. I had a hard time even connecting. Oh, I'm sure everybody's lagging, Ed. I might have to think about changing times if it's gonna be like this. Let's see if that helps.
Pain in the butt is what it is.
Yeah.
No, they can't hear us talking either.
Patrick says no. I asked everybody, can you hear us talking? He said no.
Well, we are.
Now we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear the Judy.
Yeah, I hear Judy too. She knows I'm live and she's yelling. I'm gonna turn off the TV on her. Her computer's probably up, her phone's on, the TV's on. Yeah. All right, guys, you continue. I'll be right back. I gotta see what's going on with some
I would, I
stuff.
would. Oh, okay. Well, folks, we don't know what's going on. I think Ed Murphy is hit us tonight.
Oh, this ain't totally Ed's. This
I don't know, David. I don't know who invited Murphy.
I'm tired of the jackass.
Murphy's no fun.
Need to lock him in the closet for a while, not feed him or water him.
Hey, Bob, how's it
There's
going?
Bob.
Down east detective and prospecting.
If he lived closer, I'd ask him to help me with my new Equinox I just got.
Oh, Ed just popped up.
Oh, James is there. Hey, what's up, James? Not much, buddy. Just got done with the gold show over the weekend.
Yeah, that was fun, anyways.
It was a good time.
Work, but fun.
Yeah, we had fun though.
Yeah, I got to hang out a little bit with Emily.
Yep, my wife worked in her booth one day.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of pictures of her and Emily together, all over each other.
Says, hey, we can see Ed now. I can't see Ed.
I see him, but he's froze.
Oh yeah, I see now what they're saying. He's froze. Ed's frozen time.
So
There he goes upstairs.
So we're just killing time now. Hello, Justin. Guess what?
Says we sound great, David Villa says.
Hey, look.
Gold Rat High Bankers.
His ears must have been ringing.
Well, we were talking about him earlier.
Yeah.
I did become a lifetime GPA member over the weekend.
And got a Equinox 800.
Yep, got a MineLab Equinox 800 for joining.
Well,
now it's got to learn how to use it.
Well, that just takes practice, like everything else, you know. Play. You got a big yard too, dude. You can do a lot of practice in your yard.
I've never been across my yard yet. No one has.
Well, there you go, dude.
Eric.
Mojo, how you doing?
Oh, he says, oh.
Oh, what they see is.
Yeah, we know we're having some. Looks like some YouTube problems or something.
Oh, maybe you and Ed will have to come over one weekend and we'll just all metal detect the yard.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Speaking of which,
listen to the fire trucks going by. Fire!
It'd be kind of cool to go out one more time this year.
Yeah, I think we should go to Justin's.
Huh?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well,
it's the beginning of their season, right?
No, not that, John.
Who are you talking about?
Dana's friend in Whitewater.
Right. Jason.
Not Justin.
I'm all about going back over there. There's cracks in that bedrock I want to pick out.
The bricklayer on the job site, he had this it looks just like a gold syringe, and it's used in the medical field, and he uses it for sucking water out of the bricks with the holes in it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, that'd make a good crack snuffer. And he's like, take it. So my wife brings them home from work all the time. As long as you guys can hear us, awesome.
Says he can hear us, you're just the video's locked up.
Bear with us. I know there's...
Hey, Wayne, how's it going? Wayne Nugget Brain is in the house.
I know there's a lot of live streams going on right now, and every day more and more are going on. We might have to talk about a new time slot or something. But I think nighttime at prime time is gonna be busy regardless what day we're on. So,
Probably. I don't know. Wish it was a way to find out.
I'll see if there is. But let me see. Oh.
Oh, he just had his head on the mic.
Yeah. Justin says Equinox is a nice bit of gear.
I'll figure it out eventually.
Oh yeah.
The way it reads about in the YouTube videos I've watched, it says it's not too hard to operate.
From what I hear, it's really good.
And thank God it's waterproof with me owning it.
Well, you know, most of the metal detectors nowadays are fairly easy to operate. You know, they made them pretty simple for just about anybody to be able to use. Oh man, my throat's still sore from over the weekend.
Since I had to go away and I'm back now.
Why'd you go away?
What I miss? To talk to the missus and to debate with her, turn off her phone, and I ran upstairs to make sure her laptop was off, and
Man.
try and
Hello,
cut down on
Discovery.
Hi, Discovery.
Patrick says the chat is even lagging.
Chat must be about 2 minutes behind the audio.
Put it on
there's
chat.
Pat's the guy to talk to about learning how to use that thing. I bet you he'd show you.
Yeah, he just said it's a great machine.
Yeah. Watch some tutorials.
Oh, I've been watching them, Patrick. I've been burning them up.
Center of the earth mining, coils to the soil, welcome.
Yeah, how's it going?
My brother's in the house.
Oh, James is in there.
Duke, our friend Nugget Brain, and our buddy Wolf Muscle.
Did we ever get Dave back?
I think he's there. Dave, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I still see you frozen on the screen here, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, it looks like I'm in deep thought, like a granite statue there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least they can hear us, so it's a partial podcast now.
There you
go. Visual radio.
Damon Fay Outdoors. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, see, I ain't even seeing the chat even moving at all.
Well, there's Patrick Moore, Silent Bob.
Yeah, Pat.
Hey, Patrick.
Yep, Pat Mule.
Welcome, Damon. How's everyone doing tonight? We're doing fine. The stream on the video side isn't doing the greatest, unfortunately. Hey, Thomas. But I want to welcome
hi, Thomas.
I want to welcome HD Shovelhead to our patron family. So he's just in time. And
yep, I see him.
Brother Joe's in the house.
Brother Joe.
A lot of interest in his Green Mountain Gold Trap at the Gold Show.
Yep.
At least when I was over there.
Yeah, somebody else was selling a bazooka, a Swedish bazooka at the show.
Yeah, that was Robert.
What was that?
That was Robert selling the bazookas right next to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit hard to understand, but kind of soft spoken.
He wanted to get prospecting guide, turn Jesse into a prospecting guide while he was there.
Yeah, because he's still there today, right?
Yeah, I think what Wednesday he was going back Wednesday,
Right.
right?
Yeah, he was looking for somebody local to go prospecting with. And he was telling us, says, well, I'm, 2.5 hours away, so I guess that's not as local. I don't know that area. I'd have to bring him up to where I was, you know.
Yeah, Robert sells dream mats in Sweden.
Oh, does he?
So, yeah,
Cool.
Robert Carlson. That's who was there next to you, Peter at SE. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, he is soft spoken. Yep, he's got a bazooka that he's making and manufacturing there in Sweden, and
Right.
selling it abroad. And so that's kind of his product that he's manufacturing. Besides, he makes high bankers also.
Right. He has a little attachment he puts on the end of it to
Turns
make it a
his fluid
turns it into
bed
a
into
power
a
one.
high, yeah, turn it into a high
Yep.
banker.
Yeah,
Right.
Robert, buys a few big orders in the spring every year. So far, these 2 years for his dream mats, and maybe a couple follow after that. So that he has dream mats in stock at his store in Sweden, and he also sells to a couple people who are kind of like pseudo distributors for him.
Yeah, he was trying. He was looking at.
Yeah,
He was trying to talk me into being a distributor.
for his
Cool.
bazooka box.
Yeah, for his bazooka.
Yeah, he's trying to make that thing take off. As far as that's his baby.
Right.
That's where he's kind of got some investment into. So that's what he likes that design. He's yeah.
So that was had a lot of. It was a pretty good show. Of course, we weren't able to distract everybody from Emily, but we tried. Although I did get to talk to her and possibly coming on the show, so that'll be fun. Hey, Hook, how's it going? Hook
You and
just,
Dana got to talk to her more than I did. So. But the guy Chase Taylor that works on her boat, on her dredge, he's a really cool guy. I got to
well,
talk to him.
did you check him out at the restaurant? He ordered 3 steaks.
Yep, he ate 3 steaks.
See the size of that guy though? His arms are like my legs.
They're like your whole body, Ed.
Hey, according to the doctor, I'm overweight.
But
Oh,
he's got big arms.
That must be like mammoth proportion or something.
Oh,
Oh,
he was big,
big.
big and
If
wide.
Ed's overweight, I'm a mammoth or something.
Yeah. I'm obese.
That's what they said. Their algorithm or the program, they punch all their information about me, my height, my weight, and all that. Apparently,
And of
I'm
course,
overweight.
Ed, we all know you fit in that one little box, right? Yeah. You fit their pattern, right?
No.
No,
Evidently not.
no.
I don't think I fit anyone's pattern. I don't even know if I fit my own. But geez.
So we set up a booth this weekend with the Dream Mat. They sent us some mats to sell. We sold a few. We didn't have the we didn't sell like what I was hoping for, but that's like when I go prospecting.
What's
I
the
go hoping
name?
to come out with an announce every time I go out, but
What's the name of that Swedish guy or guy from Sweden? What's his name again, David? I never talked to him. I talked to his wife more than him.
Bob?
Oh, Robert
Robert, yeah.
Carlson?
The Swede?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Swede. That's who you had next to you. Robert Carlson. Yep, from Pater at SE.
Okay. What's the name of his fluid bed?
Oh, I don't know actually know the name.
He
What
calls
his,
it the Swedish bazooka.
the Swedish bazooka.
Right. That's it. I did like his little power head system he put on the end of it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was admiring that.
Right.
The
It
rest
clamps
of
up with a
it-
couple little buckles, kind of like how the Keens clamp down their the riffle bars, you know, and
Uh-huh.
clamps it on and it seals, and he pumps the water to it. Yep.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
Yes, Joseph, Murphy does suck.
Hey, Angelina.
Hi, Angelina.
Oh, Angelina made it.
Yep.
What I hate is when it goes green on YouTube's end, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then it goes right back to red. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's still froze here. Oh, now you're on. You got us up there. I'm froze in the picture.
that's okay as long as you can hear us.
Right.
That's what matters.
Right.
Because
So what's new with David Peterson nowadays? What's up with that?
So I guess, you know, Dream Mat's doing great. You know, we're
Is it?
oh, buddy, we're just it's hard to keep up. You know, just more. It's like the math is working. You know, I hate to say it that way, make it seem like it's impersonal. It is a community, but the math is working. More and more people are telling more and more people.
Right.
And hold on a second. Turn those off, would you? Okay. And my boys just stepped into the room, turned on the lights, and there's so much glare. But
not a
anyways,
problem. What kind of dinosaur is that he's holding? The T-Rex?
you know, yeah, he's a dinosaur machine. He's got fish and crocodiles, snakes, and dinosaurs. You know, it's all about cool stuff, you know, and as far as animals. And so he sits down, he watches these fishing shows and these dinosaur shows with his notebook, and he writes down the names of the animals like he's taking a test almost, you know. So it's kind of cool. You know, he's really into that, and he's got lots of information. His brain is growing, and he's a sponge, you know. So he's really into that. He's a full blown nerd, you know, like he is, you know. He's
Like his dad.
and well, the other kid is a full blown just, you know, he wants to be you know, wants to hunt and fish and be a cowboy and he's just really just interested in everything that his brother isn't. You know, so I got kind of both going on there.
There you
So,
go.
but as far as DreamHack goes, again, you know, is more and more people are telling more and more people. We just see the synergy happening, you know, as far as what's going on. And what I think is really making the synergy successful is that, you know, we've been doing this since the beginning of 16 in April. And so here we are in 18. And so we're, you know, we're over 2 years, you know, so this is we put out quite a few mats our first year, and we're probably coming into about 10,000 mats out in the public. Yeah, hands.
Cool.
And I think is what's making the synergy work about the mats. It's not so much the numbers of the mats, it's the fact that we have not had one come back. Not one. Or we haven't had the official complaint lodged with Star Command, so to speak, that we officially think you suck and we don't like your
Right.
product. Okay, we got we got haters, but we don't want to talk about them because we don't want to give them any attention.
Well,
We have
right.
haters, which was really funny because I had my first official hater. I guess I won't mention his name, but the guy really was going to ruin me and expose me for the lie that I was and all this kind of stuff, you know. And we toyed with him actually, you know, and kind of I shouldn't have, but you know, I goaded him. And then he disappeared, of course, because I finally decided I better block him and not give him any attention and just move on and be a nice, peaceful smart aleck rather than a vindictive smart aleck, you know. And then so we ignored him. And it was just like a couple months ago, his name comes up on my PayPal, and he orders a mat. So I sent it to him. You know, I wasn't gonna like not send him a mat. You know,
Oh,
so I sent him a mat.
why would you not send
And
him
then he ordered another one.
one?
So here I am, you know, selling mats to my haters. You know, so I'm like, you know, man, I think that's cool. You know, so so the product is doing good because I think its core is strong, meaning that it's got a technology that's been vetted before me, even because the hydrocyclone works in the mining industry. It works in all areas of mining that use fluid power or fluid process or gravity separation. Even though it's really not gravity separation, it's used in centrifugal force and a lot of other things. And so the technology is solid and it's proven and it's used in a lot of places. So we just downsized it to a fluid bed in a stream sluice. And then we have different profiles. And the only reason we have different profiles is because we started out with one and it's kind of a do-it-all profile. It's unclassified, will work in almost any situation. You know, the creek bed, the sluice box, the high banker, and we had it running some dredges, but the dredges, seemed to have a little bit too much velocity and made them spin too fast, so it kind of like emptied them out. So we developed a dredge mat. So that's like stuff like that. And so then we get the beach mat, which means it's a smaller profile, catches the finer gold. So we haven't really had to like make different total configurations of something new. All we've done is just size the cells up and down and heights, and that takes a lot. Actually, took a lot of work just to get a little bit to meet the customer's requests. Because every profile that we've differed from the regular Dream Mat that's come out has been customer driven. One of the first new profiles that actually came out was the one we put the mini mat, which we actually was driven because I was getting them. Several emails a day, and actually people calling me. People actually calling me because I've got my phone on my website, asking me when I was going to come out with a map for the cube. And so I had a lot of cube requests, so that was how that one came out. So here we created this aftermarket product, like an aftermarket floor mat to your Chevy truck for the cube, and that took off because a lot of people liked it. Right. And then out of that came Dustin's request. Dustin saw it, said, hey, the cube really isn't a big deal in Australia, but I love the profile. I sent it to him. He goes, we need to do this in a small stream sluice sampling type thing, but I kind of want to do something a little different because I'm going to run it flatter. And then we developed the high-low pattern, and we put that thing out there. And we both, after testing it, after we popped the first molds out, was testing at my end, and he was testing his end, and we couldn't believe how good it worked. So that was a big home run for us, developing that, all the work that we did, because it took a lot of work to get the Dream Mat in the box to work good. And so all that homework that we did really paid off in dividends in that smaller profile. And then, of course, we expanded on that. We got a beach mat that's a full 12 by 36. And then we got, a concentrating mat with the high-low pattern, which is, an 8 by 36. I don't do a 10-inch because beach mats are usually bigger, so there's really no need for a 10-inch concentrating mat. That 8-inch concentrating mat if you had a garage and the walls were stacked with 5-gallon buckets of sand, and you had been saving 5-gallon buckets of sand your whole life, and the whole garage full, we could burn through that whole garage full in less than a week with that 8-inch mat. So the 8-inch mat is plenty for a person to handle. It doesn't need to be a 10, except for the fact I have a 10-inch box of which I just have one.
Right.
So, so we're always sitting here listening to the customers, and Dustin's kind of my partner in crime, meaning that we partnered early on because he had been watching my tech when it was in the Kairos Vortex stage, when I was young, bold, harsh, and dumb, and trying to really change the way some stuff is being done. And it had great applications. It did great up in Alaska at a mine that went 2 seasons, but the mine closed down because they just ran out of pay. And I get requests all the time. I get people all the time begging to buy the one I got in my garage, but I send them plans for it, for that type of sluice. And they see the videos, they think it's for sale, they want to buy it, and then I send them off some cells and the plans for it. They build it, and it is still going. But I don't advertise it because I kind of feel it's just too complicated for a prospector, and it's more of high-end mining, meaning that the recovery rate in the cells is great. It's actually better than the mats somewhat, because it's a more controlled environment. You have to have a precise flow, precise feed, like a hydrocyclone. And we don't want that as a prospector. We want to do it all, something that goes out there, various flows, various widths, various materials. We want something that does it all. And so that's why the mat is there. And so it serves our needs. And it has such good recovery that it doesn't, it's not an issue as far as going back the other direction. But so all these products seem to be driven by customers, and me and Dustin talk about what the customers want and decide what to release and when, because I'm always getting him in trouble because I want to release a lot of stuff. And he's like, well, no, because if you start selling this mat, then everybody in Australia is going to ask me for it too. And I'm not ready yet. Between seasons, I'm like, their season's just getting ready to start. Ours is just ending, and so he's got times and cycles. Everything, works that way. And it's funny is I push him a lot. And sometimes I just do it, and he's like, and he calls me names and says, "Thanks a lot, I appreciate you. The grief you're causing me. People call me and out of the blue asking me for this, and they're mad when I don't have it. But he's a good guy. But so one of the things we were going to talk about tonight is the new product. And it's like, so what would it be? Would it be another new mat? A different zone? Well, we really actually do have a bunch of stuff like that waiting in wings, and we're just kind of stewing on it and testing it. And we just really don't know. We're waiting for customers to ask for it. And even though we got stuff we think that we should introduce, we're waiting for customers to ask. So we kind of holding off because we don't want to get too crazy. But about 6 months ago, I saw something on the internet where a guy had this little toy, 3D printed little toy, and it was like a little sluicey thing, and it was hooked up to a faucet. And it was a toy, and it was just a little fun thing. And I mentioned to Dustin, I said, we need a toy. We need something like that. And then we kind of forgot about it. And then about a month and a half ago, Dustin shows up with this little model because he has a CAD program too, and he's pretty handy. And he goes, Dave, this is rough, but this is what we need. And I said, you're right on the money. You're right. You're in the zone. That's it. That's exactly it. And he goes, this is awesome. So I basically fixed the model to where he wanted it to do, because, that's I do solid modeling engineering and stuff like that, and fluid facilities and stuff like that, design systems. And so I fixed the model up. We dialed it up, and we made some prototypes, and then we each got the prototype. Oh, actually, I tested the prototype, and we loved it. And then we dialed it up for marketing. And so I don't know. I don't think you guys can still see yet on the video. It's kind of coming in and out. But I'll hold it up there long enough so maybe the blip will come in. Pretend I'm a Barbie doll that's frozen in time.
Yeah.
With my little sluice thing here, and maybe I'll try to get the pose just right, but usually I'll probably come on with my mouth open just right where it looks really dumb. So I'll be sitting there for 5 minutes on the show, and that finally comes up there. Really dumb.
I'm playing with some of my output settings.
But anyways, so we got this pocket sluice. And the pocket sluice is the mini mat pattern, the high and low. It's got 10 cells, and it is gorgeously designed. It looks like a Nike shoe. I mean, well, I guess I'm not supposed to say Nike because, they're bad now. Or Reebok or Adidas. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So anyways, it's as nice as a Winchester lever action with the beautiful checkering. There it is. See, that's what it's all about. Now we're talking. This little guy is going to be the stocking stuffer. And reason why, and so we built it because we had to see if it worked. So we wanted something. We had an idea, of course, without testing, you don't know. So Dustin actually built some. He built actually a bunch of them, just scobbed up some little material and cut some mats up and made some. And he said, this is a go, we need to do this. And so Dustin's, coming up with this idea, and I'm supporting him on it. And I go out and I test it, and I love it. I mean, I can't get enough of this thing. I mean, it's like you put this little thing in a creek, and the water flows over it, and you start running material through it, and the material starts turning jet black, and you got nothing but black sands left, and you're just kind of hucking material in there with your hand or a spoon or a little shovel. One time I was using a little shovel, and it eats it up quick, and it blows off the bigger rocks. It doesn't clog up with rocks, even though we're an unclassified material. And it's because it's a little narrow chute, and it's got some velocity. It's like a little mini dredge when it's in the creek. It's cool. And this thing moves the material. And so the idea is behind it, besides it just being a toy, it's got to be practical, meaning anybody can have this with them wherever they go. On a motorcycle ride, in your satchel, in your truck ride, you're out hunting, fishing, whatever. It's in your backpack. Me and my brother actually did a little video, and we were talking, and I go, you can have this thing in your fanny pack and then be hiking. And my brother kind of looks at me funny, and I said, okay, dudes don't have fanny packs anymore. Okay, you can have this in your satchel. I was teasing my brother, or your date, and he's kind of starts laughing. But anyways, so you're out cruising, you're RVing with Mama, and she's got the poodle. And you're on a short lease also because you're on mama time, because this is family vacation. You're not supposed to be prospecting because you're bad already because you've already went prospecting too much this year.
Right.
And of course, you go someplace and you look down the side of the highway and there's a creek and you're thinking, geez, I need to test that. I need to get my bucket and shovel, but I don't got nothing. And then you tell Mama, I need to go bathroom. So then you go off with your bushes, your pockets loose, and you come back and smile on your face. And she goes, what you up to? That's what this product is about. This product is about having fun, where no matter where you go, if you're doing something else, you can always take a few seconds and you can pop the sluice in the stream as long as you got some running water and make it happen. So, and there's a lot of rivers and streams in Montana. Actually, I live in the area where there's more rivers and streams in actually the whole United States. We got the most rivers, lakes, and streams, whole lower 48. But anyways, other places are more dry, of course, and Australia is, dry. So they have seasons when everything floods. But still, in the other night I was teasing with Jesse, or not teasing with our group. We have a group of guys that we are testers, and Jesse and Ed are in there. We talk about Dream Mat stuff all the time, and then we crack jokes and be inappropriate stuff like that. And
fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. Fun. And I made a little bucket recirculating system.
That's
cool.
And so I basically took a lid, I cut a slot in it, popped the sluice down through it, and then on the other end I popped up, and I'll release this video too. On the other end I cut a hole so the hose would screw right into the poly lid, and then turned it on and had this and slipped a hole on the back side of the bucket down lower so it wouldn't come and overflow. And I had a safety pan, and I had water flow, and it was adjusted the hose and through. Well, I had some cons from when the last time I went prospecting that I didn't clean up. I just took with me and left, and ran it through the sluice. You should see the fine gold that came out of this little sluice. Talking 10 cells, so it's 5 cells, 2 cells wide, 5 cells long. And so here's this little sluice, and this thing is, I got a ruler. I haven't even measured it. That's pretty sad.
You haven't measured it, huh?
Yeah, certain things we don't measure in life. We just take it. It's 8 inches long, and I put fudging on that. That's what the baby is. So,
that's what it is. 8 inches long.
That's what the flare. So here's this little sluice, and we take the cons from a Dream Mat 12-inch, which is about a third of a pan, not even, and we run it in there just to how it was unclassified. We run it in there, and with the little garden hose, and then in the fine gold. You couldn't believe the fine gold this thing caught, and just that amount. And then a little later, it's a day later, I thought to myself, well, we gotta know what we missed. And so I checked it, and I reran the material. And I'm telling you, man, I had 3 specs. I had to tell the guy they were in there. I said 4 or 5 specs. And I tried to get close enough with the camera, take a picture. I did take a picture, but you couldn't even see him with the camera. So
this one catches some really fine gold.
The camera couldn't see him. And that's, the recovery rate we're seeing with the mat is, people are, like I think last time that we had this about more than a year ago, and we talked about recovery rates, and people said, what are people saying? And we're getting prospectors. Okay, I got a guy down. Right now I got a guy that's been trying to contact me for 2 days, and I haven't had time to talk to him because I'm busy at work. And right now I'm really busy at work because we're going through a real crunch time. We got a lot of stuff going on, and when I'm there, I got to be focused. And after work, I'm pretty burnt out, and I've had some family stuff going on. And I actually took the weekend off and did nothing, believe it or not. Except for getting
didn't even go out fishing with the boys or anything.
The boy helped me stack some wood. Wife went did some stuff Saturday, and I watched the boys, and they played with their friends in the yard. But I just relaxed and took care of some stuff around the house. And Saturday I chopped up some firewood for a camping trip, a hunting trip we're gonna be taking in a couple weeks, and got started getting the truck loaded with my stove for my wall tent and getting my list going. And me and my brother met Sunday night and talked and sat down and talked about our list of everything we need to get done for camping. So he came over. So I did really nothing this weekend, which I rarely do because I'm a workaholic.
Right. So I just posted this on Facebook.
and I find time. I hate to say it, but
No. I just posted a picture of your.
Time to post on Facebook is when you're in the bathroom and you're sitting down.
Right. I guess. No, I just posted pictures of the sluice on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
David, what
Yes.
kind of price range are you going to be giving these little guys?
This guy is going to be $19.
$19 there, guys.
And guess what we're going to do? $19, and it goes on sale as soon as Dustin puts it on the website. Right now, he's laughing because I haven't even asked him yet, and so I always ask him. Alex, can you do this for me tomorrow? And he goes, "Yeah, I could do that for you, mate." And he gives me kind of rolls his eyes in the back of his head, and he's like, "Whatever," And so he should have seen this coming and had it all ready by now, but I asked him at the last minute. But as soon as Dustin gets it up and going, this is going to be free shipping until Christmas. So till Christmas, you're going to be able to get in this thing for $19 without having to pay shipping. Shipping is going to be $7.50 because that's the standard flat rate, teeny little box this thing fits in. So we're going to just do standard. Only thing we're going to offer standard flat rate shipping because everybody gets it in 2 or 3 days. To standardize it makes it easy for me. I don't have to go to the post office and figure rates and all that kind of garbage. It just saves everybody time. So anyways, so it's going to be $7.50 shipping after that. So and I'm going to have. And I'm on target. I'm ahead of schedule for once in my life with this project. The goal is to have 1,000 of these made before Christmas, and I will have actually probably 1,000 of them made in a couple weeks. So
cool.
We are making these guys like crazy because we know that this is the stocking stuffer little guy, and we get a lot of them out there at the cheap rate so people can touch them and see them. Because when they get a hold of this little guy and they play with it and trade a bottle of whiskey for it, or I don't know what they're gonna do with it, maybe this guy here is
whatever you trade in, right?
This will be one of these products that they're gonna have customers complaining because their friends that they thought were friends are gonna steal them from them.
I better put my name on mine.
And they're getting,
where's my Sharpie?
A Sharpie with a nice permanent name on the back of it, and so we can steal your little sluice.
Well, I'm gonna engrave mine.
Because this little guy here. Oh, there's my boy. He came in looking to see what was going on. Yep. But this little product is gonna be a winner. We had so many people. Like I was mentioned before. I got a guy trying to get a hold of me for a dredge mat, and I. Been trying to connect with them. Hopefully I'll connect with them tomorrow after work because the dredge mats are kind of a specialty product, because we got to figure out shipping. I ship ground on those because they're so big. I can't ship them priority because it costs.
Those are heavy.
Yeah, they are. He's wanting a dredge mat, and I'm trying to get him into it. And so I just had time. I've been busy. But the guy who's turned them on, the one guy, Dave Wicker, who ran the mat, loved it. Down in Arizona, they got this hole. They had some rain come in, so they dredged this hole. And they've been doing this spot, it's a claim, for a long time. So they've been in and out of this hole many times. And so they went and they did it. They ran it, and they just could not believe the gold that they found in the dredge mat. in the Dream Mat compared to what they ran in the regular system, running the riffles and the carpet and the expanded metal. So, and then his buddy, Wicker, I bet you he can't be in his 40s, or maybe he just barely is. He's around there. He's just an average guy. But there's one of his older friends who's retired and lives in that area and in Prospects and is in that area. The Sun Valley is the name of the town there. It's by Prescott. Not Sunburst, but I forget the name. But anyways, he saw Dave running this thing and saw it, and he said, and he's like, and saw the gold he was getting. He says, I've been prospecting all my life, for a long. That's what I do. And he goes, I gotta have me one of those mats. And he goes, he's old school. That means he isn't on the wire. He isn't on Facebook or anything like this. So he's like business. He's still in the business card, brochure era, And he's all like, dude, you need to start advertising this mat. You need a distributor. You got to tell people about this thing. And I'm like, you are. That's me.
Justin's going, yeah, let the cat out of the bag. I don't think Justin's happy.
So he's convinced, he's going to show a bunch of his buddies, and another one of their friends have seen it, and this Chris guy, and he wants to buy a mat and try it out. And one of the things I hope people appreciate and see, and it's not a sales gimmick, and it's just really are passionate about what we're doing. We put a lot of time and research into it. Dustin, once in a while, he says this, and it's funny. He goes, who else puts this much work into these products so prospectors can have fun, Dave? Because it's not, we look at the money we're making, it's not about the money. And it's because this is what we love to do. This is our little niche, our passion that we're good at, and this is what we enjoy doing.
I know there's a lot of people out here.
Yep.
A lot of people out here wanting to try out the mat. Let me tell my friends here that if you buy the mat and try it and you don't like it, you can send it back to David. No, you don't have to explain anything.
Nothing.
And he'll refund your money. If you don't send it back, he expects you to buy another one.
I keep telling myself that's going to happen one day. Someone's not going to be happy with the mat, and I'm going to.
I heard somebody was complaining about one of the shaved mats that you sold, or I sold, or one of us sold.
But they got a discount on that.
Yeah, they did. Well, they did. Most definitely.
I had some mats that we had some trouble with some molds, and I had a whole bunch of them, and I gave them to Jesse and Ed and to another guy, and I said, here, you guys can have these for basically cost of the material, and then you can sell them and make a little money on them. I wouldn't sell them for more than this, half price, and just offer the mats out there. And if anybody complains, just take it back and give them their money back. I go, and I even told Jesse, and Ed, they sold all theirs, and this other guy said, if you feel you can't sell these, give them back to me. I'll give you your money back. We're not trying to push anything down anybody's throats. But one thing that we do is I offered unconditional money back guarantee. And my attitude is, if this mat doesn't absolutely replace what you're using now, to the point where you're so wowed that you basically go to it for your number one go-to all the time system, send it back. I'll give you your money, because you're running it wrong. Because that's how we feel about the product. That's how much engineering and time and research and sweat and effort went into this thing. This thing's got more than 3 years of high-end engineering. We're talking top of the food chain, upper echelon engineering here. We're talking, it doesn't get any higher than working with PhD physicists and fluid profile guys that to design a mat and a profile that can work in a stream. And we've crunched the numbers, we've done the work, we've have so many different versions of this that don't work. I don't want to show anybody of these because I'm afraid those ideas that don't work.
Yeah, show off your failures.
Do something with it because it looks cool. And actually, my uncle has a few of those items in his garage, and I always tell him, I need to come over and get those sluices from you. And he goes, no, I like them because we went through that process of building those, and I remember how this all went and how it evolved, and I want to remember it. And I go, yeah, but I'm afraid one of your buddies are going to see it, and they're going to think it's some new thing.
Well, you could always have a Dream Mat Museum at your
one of these days, I will feel comfortable enough to write a book and show the pictures, and probably like a comic book, just pictures with a little bit of writing and some, comic, little comic unicorn person telling a story. But that would probably be the, the audience I'd have to target, because that seems to be my level of, focus.
Well, over the weekend at the Gold Show, I took the speed banker. Now, I've had the speed banker, 2 years? About 2 years?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that?
You've had it a whole season, so you've had it a whole 2 seasons prospecting, but about a whole year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I don't know whether you know this or not, but I've left that thing outside the whole time, mat and all.
Yeah.
And you know that people are impressed the way that thing is holding up. Yeah. I leave it outside. The
speed banker is a product that people is very underappreciated. It is before its time. Speed banker is one of those unfortunate innovations that people just can't wrap their mind around. Because a high banker, you're supposed to classify. That's the whole purpose of a high banker, because if you classify, you get better results. So we know with the Dream Mat, it was designed to run unclassified and catch the fine gold. Catch that elusive term that miners use, which is true, that used to say everybody used to say before when people were still using wooden long toms, you can't catch flour amongst boulders. And so they even understood in them days that if you want to catch the flour, you got to classify. So you gotta break it down. So the Dream Mat was designed to use a different a physics force, totally different, totally opposite than the other forces that are out there in the standard configurations in the way that the lines go perpendicular to the flow. It's a totally different deal. It uses centrifugal force, it spins it, slows it in there, and it's a total different force that it grabs the gold, and it can't be mimicked in a different profile. And so that mat catches this fine gold unclassified. It does a good job of getting off the cobble, concentrating down, filling up the black sands, and making this product work. And so the speed banker is basically, when you run more material, you get more gold. And so in a good situation, a 12-inch sluice in a creek with good water flow, you can shovel your brains out, and then it'll about kill you, because it could take, about a shovel load is about what will disperse and lay out in a processable zone. So what we're talking about is total capture load before anything can leave and be overburdened. A shovel load can spread out. That's why the mat's 12 inches by 36. It can spread out, capture, and then process all that material, and then blow off the bigger cobble as it goes. And so every shovel load you can process and not have to worry about overburdening the sluice. If you throw the shovel in, watch the load process. Once the mat starts clearing up, throw another load in, watch it process. Most people run the Dream Mat at about 30% the capacity, because they're used to the capacities in the other sluices. And you can really push a Dream Mat and really get a lot of volume through it.
You have to get used to how quick it processes.
So the idea behind this, sorry about that, Jesse, the idea behind the speed banker is, what if we had a high banker where we didn't have to classify? Because it doesn't need to classify, and it takes time to classify, and you get wet, and you get sprayed on, and you got a pile of material at your feet. What if everything went out one direction? And how fast, and your power head feed it, and how fast could we go? And so we basically were going to make a long tom version. But we found out we really didn't need it, because the few specs we were catching in the regular Dream Mat behind the first one, we decided, let's just go 3 foot. Let's just run it to see how good this works. And we did our tailing capture tests. And here we are, and our opinion is, and Dustin came to the same result. When Dustin first started going around high bankers, he was going to sport a different mat. And it had a flare. And it flared out, and it was long, because that's what the system needed to require to get that fine gold at the end. And then when he came to me and said, this really is unfortunate timing, Dave, because I'm developing this new high banker series, and I'm going out on my own, because I've been in 2 other partnerships and mining, prospecting businesses, and now I'm going out on my own, and this is my flagship product. Now I got to change it. And I go, why is that? Because he goes, I don't need 6 foot of Dream Mat to catch the gold. And he goes, if I get rid of the flare, and I could just run 3 foot, I could offer a cheaper, more mobile and more higher recovery product for my customers. And he goes, it's about the customer satisfaction. He goes, it's about the customer being happy. So I can offer this product that's easier to run and still get great gold recovery. And if a person wants to put on a flare, they can put on a flare and then get even more recovery. And so he did that, and that's kind of was the thought behind the speed banker. We knew that, we tested it and said, the few sparkles we're getting is not worth going through the cons. It's acceptable losses. It's just a few specks. It ain't worth the panning. And even with spinning off the magnetics and doing every trick you can to make it so fast that it's basically, and you get so little cons that we thought that, of course you're going to clean that up, but it wasn't worth it. And so we basically developed a speed banker where the idea was shovel it in, get it out fast, and move volume. Volume. In
right. Well, I when I was running it, I'd throw in at least 3 shovelfuls before I'd even check to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And any big rocks that were stuck there, I'd move them out and run them down and start shoveling again. So that thing will keep 2 guys very busy. Yeah. 3 guys, actually.
My friend Frank, who's a disabled buddy of mine, meaning he's got some health issues I'm not liberty to discuss. He wanted to basically quit his main business selling he sells dirt, and not sod, but dirt and gravel and bark, and he has I forget what it's called. But anyways, he has a topsoil yard. That's what it is. Anyways, and sells all the other stuff. And he wanted to retire, and he wants to build stuff on the side because he's a tinker. And actually, he's not just a tinker; he's an inventor, and he has some really neat inventions out there. A stove that's actually the #1 world efficient, most economy Presto log burning stove that's just new to the market. So he's a very smart guy, and he he built the speed banker with this idea that basically the mat comes out really quick, it cleans out, and is unclassified, the mess is out front. And this is Frank's design, and he built 24 of them. And then he said, Dave, my health is bad. I can't do this anymore. I mean, I could go out there and build you some more speed bankers, but I just can't stand on my feet this long. And so that's it for the 24. Now, we may make some more later, and actually make some improvements. And there are some things that we think that need improved. There's a screen in it that kind of gets clogged up if you run the right type of material. That the perfect storm, if you had a lot of glacier silt. And I've actually removed my screen. It was easy to remove, and so it's just a hopper with a big deep V mat, and the screen isn't in there. So the screen can be pulled out really easy. But the screen was to kind of let the material fall through, go into a plenum zone, and slow material down, because if we can slow the fine gold down, anything to slow fine gold down is good. It doesn't all have to process through the dream mat. But so it was like a staging zone where the bigger material would throw off over the top of the screen out the front, and the staging zone would kind of fluidize those black sands and they would creep off. And it works really good that way. And so the guy put a lot of thought into it, and there's a lot of merit behind that type of processing. And I think in the future you're going to see other people create high bankers that are non-classified, meaning so there's areas where it's beach sand, you don't need to classify as much, especially if you have a mat like Dream Mat. And there's other mats that run great on classified also, and systems that run great on classified. A regular Keen A52 sluice is supposed to, you can shovel on classified. People classify down because they know it saves time trying to clear the sluice if it has a jam, and also processes better. And you can move more material if it's classified. People know this, so classifying helps in a lot of situations. But it's one of those items that is, people look at it and see this little box and they don't quite understand it, and like, really, what's that supposed to do? It does a lot. It works really good. And it's like it's
really like cool things I noticed.
A dredge. It's a dredge. It's a little stand-up dredge, is what it is.
Right. One of the things that I noticed about it, especially when it's working clay, it wants to stick the clay to the front of the box and just beat it.
Beat it up and work
that
it.
Was his. They have a lot of clay at this one claim. And it's not clay like the sloppy, soupy clay that kind of runs through your fingers, or like hardball clay you can make a shape with. Their clay is like in the sod, in the grass, in the slimy oil-looking crud, like goop, like duck crap. That stuff is what they got. So they have a lot of sod. that needs busted up in the gold's actually in this claim up in this one Idaho area. And Frank is a member of that club, so he said, those things got to do a really good job busting up the clay. So we want to put the jets at a certain angle so that it traps it up in that corner and just holds the material in there. And what the goal is, who cares if it holds a lot of material? Eventually, material's got to spill over and come out because you're feeding it. And the object is to hold the material in the hopper as long as possible to beat it up and clean it. So that's the goal. The goal is to keep material in the hopper. So a lot of people will put material. I've seen people put material in the hopper, and then they get in their hands and they push all the material out, and they wait until all the material is pushed out before they put their scoop in there. And the goal is no, feed it. And if you're putting 4-inch rocks in there, you're gonna be digging some rocks out because it will kick out about a 3-inch rock.
Right.
And so in about every once in a while, if you're tired of shoveling, reach your hand in there. There's a few big rocks that are gonna hang up. Throw it out. No big deal. They'll still work their way out. And that's the whole deal because we have some real rusty clay where I am at, where it's not roots. It's the roots. You get almost towards the bank, and when you need to stop digging is when you see the roots, because that's an indicator that, hey, you're getting towards the rye pan area, which means the creek bed you're encroaching on soil in living area of the bank. And then in Montana, we can't undercut the bank, and we can't cut into the bank on our streams. We're not allowed to. So we're not allowed to do that
here in Ohio either.
We're not allowed to introduce virgin or soil or decomposed soil that's not creek bed glacier soil into the turbidity. So the only thing we can rerun into the creek in a high banker or in a sluice is something that's already, the creek bed is already stirred up, so it's glacier soil, it's open. Hey, there I am on the picture with my sluice now, and I'm smiling, so I don't look stupid. All right, that's good.
That's a lot like Georgia, Georgia and South Carolina, North
with
Carolina.
Their laws.
You have to have your high banker within the wetted perimeter.
Yes, it's got to be high water perimeter. And even running a high banker in Montana, you got to dig a hole for the water and let your water kind of leach in, and it's got to filter through. You can't pull right off the stream bed unless you have a water permit for your area, and we have a water permit for our claims. So there, you got to have areas where you don't have a water permit and you want to do some high banking. You got to, dig your hole, get into the water table, so you have your suction hole for your water, and then you got to throw your turbidity out onto like a sandbar. And your turbidity is going to filter through the sandbar, and you can't see the disturbed soil or turbidity stirred up sediment going back into the creek. It's got to filter out through the sandbar, and so you got to kind of set up in an intelligent spot. And a lot of times, intelligent spot isn't where the gold's at, so you may have to pack a wheel buggy or a bucket, But a lot of times, because you want to shovel really quick into this thing, you just pick the most you can get away with, without breaking all those rules, and then just dig the hole and go. And then and then basically what we do is like what actually someone was talking about. I was just watching before the show. I was watching Mike Bobbitt's little video, and he was talking about reclamation. He goes, reclamation. We have. Oh yeah, we get in trouble. Actually, if we have a claim, you're allowed to let your hole go for a month. 30 days is the most they'll let you work a single hole without reclamating. But if Forest Service comes down, they'll just look at it and say, "No, we want you to clean up before you leave." They don't care. They just say what they want to say. Whatever. But so I always take a rake with me, and when you have a power water, you're able to throw the big rocks in the hole, and if you're smart, and then you got the one big pile, you can take the hose and blow all your tailings back into the pile, and it looks nice. And then so you do what you need to do, and we can't get close to the bank. So once you start seeing roots, you stop because you're getting too close to the bank. Because you can't even our banks, because the way that it's like what's the word? Duff is the word some people use, but we have so much of this all the stuff that's composting, the banks are up really high and loose with all this vegetation that's composting all the duff, and then you got this open, complete stream bed like Lake Tahoe, where you throw the silt up in the air and it doesn't even leave a smoke because it's all glacier toil. That if you dig next to the bank, it just caves over and all your crap falls in. And so you got to kind of stay away from the bank, you know. So, and for some reason, people think there's gold in the bank. I don't know what the deal is. I mentioned there's people who found it. Gold's everywhere, but we know that the streams concentrate it for us. So,
right. Hey, David, I need to take some hard breaks.
Okay.
I'm going to throw them all together tonight, too. So kick back, relax, and I'll let you know when they're all done, all right?
Yep. I'm going to go use the little boy's room and say hello to the kids.
Be a good time.
Yep.
All right, everybody, we're with David Peterson of DreamMat and ProspectorsDream.com, the inventor of the absolutely awesome, totally radical Dream Mat. And we'll be back with my two partners in crime, Toledo Jess and Dano, right after a few words from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Adventure, mystery, discovery. Gold panning is more than a search for beautiful frogs. Panning is a journey that can be to amazing places all around the world. It is an experience for all ages, bringing place closer together and fulfilling a spark of excitement when it has grown too dull. The Gold Claw Pan makes it easier to start the journey than ever before. This expertly designed pan is made for any level and any age. All you need is an explorer's heart and the passion for discovery. Begin your family's gold story now. Order your Gold Claw Pan today and see where the adventure takes you.
This is Michael from MyPanForGold.com. I love to receive emails and photos of the gold my friends recover from our painter, and they're not too shy to tell me about it either. Just check out some of the reviews, photos, and even videos that they have posted on our Facebook page. In fact, here are some of my not-so-shy friends now.
I'm Aaron, and I pan for gold.
I'm Caleb, and I pan for gold.
I'm Ed Martin, and I pan for gold.
I'm Erica, and I pan for gold.
I'm James, and I pan for gold.
I'm Darren, and I pan for gold.
I'm John, and I pan for gold.
I'm Mark, and I pan for gold.
I'm Tony, and I pan for gold.
This is Rob from Nashville, and I pan for gold.
Be sure to check our Facebook page and website for the latest offers, blog articles, and videos. What's in your pan? I hope it's pay dirt from mypanforgold.com.
So you guys there on the Skype?
Yeah, we're back, David.
Oh, we're back.
Yep.
Are we back?
So.
Yep, we're back.
I'm sitting here trying to finish off my boy's hamburger.
Yeah, YouTube is really, I didn't see nothing happen at all.
No, neither did I, but it is what it is, and I gotta do it.
It ran its course.
I'm getting a lot of likes on that post on your little pocket sluice. My phone keeps going off.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a video tonight. In after the show, and post some pictures. And I'm
too late. I beat you to it.
Yep. Post some pictures and tell people what we're going to be selling it for, and then as soon as Dustin finds some time to get the site up and going, I'll actually add the product on Shopify, and then he'll make it actually work. I'm dangerous, just enough dangerous with the website.
Yeah, just don't get yourself in trouble, huh?
Get some stuff on there, and then we will.
That's when does that free shipping start on that?
It starts today. Well, basically, as soon as we get it on Shopify,
okay.
And then it's going to go till Christmas. So after Christmas, you have to pay $7.45 or $7.50 to extra to get it to your house. So, and the goal is that's why I made so many of them.
That's what they're asking.
I don't want to get these things into people's hands super quick and cheap and fun and just get excited about it, and then after that I'll go business as usual, and then so we've actually spent a lot of time developing this guy and getting it ready, and we got some other products coming up. We were hoping to let those ones go around Christmas, and another one soon after the New Year, and they're probably both going to go till after New Year, because one of them we decided, we just didn't like exactly how everything was. Yeah, don't want to give it away or talk about it. Still keep it exciting.
So do you have any other?
Working out on it. Decided to punt a little bit. Just say, hey, nope, it's better to get it right than to introduce it, non-right. And non-right. That's a new word. Wow. Okay, I should talk with my eyes open more. I'm one of those guys that kind of get in. And so I need like the unicorn mask on, so its eyes are open. So it'd be moving, the eyes would be open.
He sees what he's saying, huh?
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I don't know. I get hassled about that a lot at work, and my mother-in-law hassles me, and I get kind of into these conversations, and she's like, "Open your eyes, Dave," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Everybody wants to know what. Everybody wants to know what your cup said, Ed.
Which one?
I don't know.
What?
I showed 2 cups, and I only saw one person ask. Randy, Scotty, Tony. This one or this one? Here, I'll show you if it shows. We got a good cup from. We got cups from our friend Sean from Busted Knuckles Prospecting and down in Australia, and some hats that I was wearing a little bit earlier. Randy, Scotty, Tony.
Yep, got some cool stuff.
So I'm getting all kinds of questions about.
Yeah, Jesse's multitasking and not paying attention to. Yeah.
Luke Duke was asking you if you sold Dream Mat, Jesse.
Who was?
Luke Duke.
A long
yes,
time
I have
ago.
some.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh.
I almost replied to him, but I figured that was your job. And you never did.
I do have, but you have to get a hold of me.
It's not available on our website yet, but we're working on
it. I don't know what's going on here.
You're probably.
Well, yeah, I'm getting a lot of messages. I should have waited to post that.
Probably.
They want to know what the hole is on the side here.
Oh!
That's so you can hang your keys
on it. The hole on the side is for your carabiner. So you can hook it onto the outside of your backpack, your belt loop.
Or whatever. Your
a hanger hole.
Or you can put your own little braided leather one on there, which is called a fob. Meaning that, you kind of hook it, hang it on something that's kind of like a little loop,
Yeah.
So but you can actually put a key if you got a big enough keychain, you can actually put a keychain thing in there. It's kind of big for a keychain, but
Hey, I've seen some pretty big keychains.
I know I've seen some truck keychains too.
Hey, my sister's in the house.
Those keys.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
Well, the black one. What are you talking about, Scotty?
The busted knuckles cup, Jess.
Oh, okay.
You're paying too much attention to Facebook. Turn it
No,
off.
I'm looking at the YouTube.
Turn Facebook off,
I'm looking
Jesse.
at YouTube.
Turn it off.
No, you're not.
Liberate
Yes,
yourself.
I am.
Liberate yourself.
So are you doing any more Christmas sales or Christmas deals besides that one?
Yes, thank you, Jesse, for reminding me.
Well, you're welcome. I think that's part of my job.
Yes, it is. We got a great Christmas sale coming, which is, I'm going to steal this term from a guy who told me to it once, so I'm going to steal his saying. Didn't come up with this on my own, but we're going to turbocharge the cube. So the sale is the micro mat, which is the new cube mat that goes on top, which has the micro small, it's like a good indicator mat. This mat is for, it's a combo set. The micro mat and two regular cube mats and a micro mat and the clamps that go with it. So that is going to be a set. And that's going to basically go out at a really good price. So basically it's going to be 3 for the price of 2. So that you can't beat that.
Oh. And that's with the clips.
That's with the clips that I normally don't sell because I don't have a fabrication shop and I don't really want to get into building hardware. I just want to do the mats. And every time someone asks me to do hardware, I get somebody else to do it for me, and then they kind of, it's logistics, getting it shipped here, paying for shipping once and shipping it again.
Right.
It's just kind of a pain. But I'm gonna go down to the local shop and I'm gonna go ahead and have a bunch made, powder coated up, nice little clips, some center metal, and so I'll have some clips for them. So I'm gonna have 2 mats for the price of 3 mats for the price of 2, and the shipping on them is actually less than $10. So it's really, the shipping's just really cheap.
Right.
But basically,
I was able to sell it.
Allow a person with a normal cube to put like this on the slick tray, the micro mat,
right,
and then have 2 trays of the regular one in it, and basically be able to turbocharge their cube.
So on the second day of the show, we set up the cube with all 3 mats in it.
Oh yeah.
And people loved it.
Yeah, so I had the gold cube there with all the mats in it, and my banjo pan with the mat in it. And Mike Pung never killed me. Or
you're lucky guy, Ed. Mike's got a great product. Mike's got a great product. We weren't trying to knock the product.
He knows.
The mat came about by customer request. People were begging for it, and people were chopping up my regular dream mats and putting them into cubes, and then telling me they were convinced they had found the magic combination and they were going to make me millions of dollars, and they were going to figure this all out, and they say, yeah, we're working on it. We just want to do something besides the regular profile, and people cutting up the regular profile. We think we got a profile that worked really good with the cube. So with the cube, the lower water flows, the profiles, and that's how the whole mini mat thing started, was with at that level. And the cube with the micro mat in it, or the cube mats in it, you can really run the cube without a screen. What doesn't fit down the stinking hole, you would scoop off with your hand, and the rest of it, if it's down the hole, it'll go over the mats and it'll process. And so it really opens up the doors to the versatility of that piece of equipment.
You
and you
have
can
to
water
strain
flow
it a little, though, or you'll fill up the gates like Jesse did.
Yeah, it will fill up the gates somewhat, but it'll eventually blow out. But it does. So it's smart to be at least a little bit sane when you're running it. And
I'd say you could go down a 1/4 inch and you'd be good.
Quarter
easy.
1/4 inch screen is a dream through it.
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
So
and Ed runs it with
results you will have, and what people are seeing is that you could run the water flow up so high that you could almost have water going out the sides.
That's run it 2,200 gallons per hour.
So one of the things I noticed is that one of the things I noticed with running the cube and watching it over again, I actually put a little camera in there and watched it with not time lapse, but slow motion. And you watched how it works and then we also would just do it right on a tray, right in front of us, putting the material on it. But you kind of want to see how it goes off the slick tray and transitions through how it's supposed to be running. And it has a chance to go through the G4 separator. But you can take about the biggest shovel you can imagine, and you can load it onto the plate. And as soon as it sloughs it off and into there, it fills up the top tray. And it captures it and holds that material and starts processing it before it starts blowing it off to the next thing. So you don't have material skipping over the top. So then you start exchanging. And then you just once you start seeing the tops of all the cells down below and you realize, that you're starting to see into them, it's time for another scoop.
People were amazed at how fast I was scooping material onto it. You're going too fast. I said, no. Watch those mats down there, not the top mat. Watch the mats down there.
Yep.
So we had some light shining in there, and they could see it exchanging in there. I did sell a couple sets, by the way.
Yeah. So, we're seeing, of course, with every gold situation, you got to run respectively to the gold situation. You go out to the Oregon Beach, and if you don't slow down, well, it's a kite in the wind. In no amount of sluice mat that's 10,000 feet below the storm is going to pull that little flake of gold down to, it's a kite. It's lost in the wind and they come back. So you got to slow the water flow down. You got to get it into those cells and it's got to be activated. So the water flow's got to be lower. And one thing we noticed is that, like with the Dream Mat on the mini mats, the profiles are higher. And so when you run it slower at 1100 GPM, it engages the whole profile. So the water goes into the whole profile, then jumps out to the next one. Goes into the whole profile, jumps out, goes to the next one. On the conveyor belt, it has a column depth of water. That means you have water flowing over the top of it, where you have water height above that never touches the mat, and you have water height below that always touches the mat. So if your kites are on the surface or in that upper stratosphere, because the G4 separator does a good job mixing it up, but the fact is you still have whatever it is on that surface. That surface doesn't form a layer that says go away, you never can be there.
Yeah, it's not like it can't pop back up on top.
Yeah, there's stuff in that layer of water across the top, and if it goes over the mat and never sees the bottom, it doesn't get processed. So with it jumping in and out of those cells and then it's spinning, what we see is the hydrocyclone working, meaning that it's going to spin that thing around in a circle and use the centrifugal force to its favor, pull it into the cell. If you were chasing a kite, would you try and knock it out of the air with a giant fly swatter, which is like a riffle, a vertical slot that it would have to hit and stop like a road barrier? Or like, if a semi-truck's going down a hill and it's lost its brakes and it's that flake of gold, you going to stop it with a roadblock, a pylon? That's a ripple going perpendicular to the road. It's just going to hit that and scatter all over spit stuff all over the highway, because we know that mass has inertia and it moves. And an object in motion tends to stay in motion until something can put it at rest. In an object like a kite that's flat, it has high surface tension. It has what's called capture velocity. It's captured in the velocity of the fluid, and it can't be pulled basically out of that fluid profile very easily. But if you spin it, what they found with hydrocyclones they use the inertia and amplify it and throw it to the walls, and the walls drag it down into the apex, which is the bottom tapered shape, into a collection zone. And that's what the cells do. And so it's like a runaway truck going into the runaway truck ramp, which is soft sands, but instead of a straight line, it's driving in circles. So it just gets bogged down, buried, and put in there. So, the Dream Mat has some really elegant physics. I could actually talk this whole time just about how the Dream Mat works.
We know you can, Dave.
And make their eyes roll in the back of their heads and make them drool. And just like, this guy is just too deep. He's just gone. He doesn't. But the deal is,
to explain it to when I was demonstrating that micromat, the thing that impressed most people, besides the fact how fast I was loading the box up, was that when I stopped, the clean out was but when I stopped feeding material and we looked into the little cells of the micromat, the people could see the gold. In the cells, they can say, "Oh, there's gold there. There's gold there. There's gold there."
Physics. I don't want to say nature created them. Physics just are. Physics. We are surrounded by physics from the Earth to the far as we can see out into space, and these have rules, and they don't change. And all we can do is observe, and then hopefully not manipulate, but smart. Observe nature thoroughly rather than work effortlessly, meaning that we figure out how to get the forces in nature, physics, to work for us and benefit us in our collection and what we're doing. And so we know that when you spin in an eddy like that, the flighty gold, like the toilet paper, a bad analogy, but I'm going to hit home so people can understand it. Because if we flush the toilet now, they're going to be thinking about Dream Mat. I'm sorry, but I did it. But it spins and it captures. And so, does the toilet paper fly out of your toilet bowl, or does it go down the hole? So physics tell us that light, fluffy, impossible to catch stuff like toilet paper will stay in that vortex and spin until it gets pulled down into the bottom apex and get captured. So physics tell us and confirm that the Dream Mat works, and it's physics behind it. So that force is acting on every one of those cells. And the gold is the heaviest, but light flaky gold has high surface tension. So you got a double whammy going against the gold. One, gold is heavy, so it's staying down there because of mass, just because of its sheer weight. I guess you call it weight, but physics people like to call it mass. And then now, if it's flat, the surface tension is also helping it stay pinned down in there. So it's got a double whammy going against it. My favorite illustration is the tornado in the park, trailer park. Trailer park, tornado comes running into the trailer park and starts ripping the trailer park apart. Skirting from the bottom of the trailer to the roof stuff starts just flying and ripping off. And the tornado goes right into the path of a guy's got a truckload of bowling balls. I know, crazy illustration, but just pretend, it's fictional. But actually, they proved this, and actually, it works. But the bowling balls all spill out on the ground, and they get rolled around. And at the end of the tornado, we look around, and trailers are missing, cars are missing, the bowling balls are all still there. The bowling balls have a low surface tension, meaning they're very aerodynamic, meaning they're have no edges for air to catch and grab, so they're very efficient in shedding off any type of way for a fluid profile, air or water, to grab it and move it. So it's got very low surface tension. The metal, which was screwed down and weighs, its metal is heavy. It's heavier than the clay, which is made of the bowling balls. So the bowling balls are heavy because they're big and round, but they actually apples to apples, if they were a penny to a penny of clay to a penny of gold, the gold weighs more. But because the gold is flattened out and is like a big piece of tin, even if it's screwed down to the roof, because of its high surface tension, the tornado or the fluid flow rips that gold off and then flies it out. So what the illustration is showing us there is that when we have fluid dynamics going through a sluice box, and we have light, fluffy gold, we have to use the fluid dynamics in our favor to capture the gold, because it's going to be elusive. Or else we're just going to have a box full of bowling balls left over. And that's that grainy little square QB sands, hematite, magnetite, and there's some other tites. I'm not a geologist. I should be. I've heard enough of this stuff. But anyways, so you have all this heavy, very low surface tension stuff left in your box because it's heavy and it's got low surface tension, and all the light, flighty, flat stuff, which is the gold, the metal, because it gets hammered out flat, is left. So we need to understand that efficient profiles will capture the gold. And DreamMat does what other objects do, is that it takes the gold back upstream, spins it, and puts it in a protective little cell. Every row takes it back upstream, protective little cell. And it's kind of like, it
was really cool when I was talking to some of these people. They actually figured that out on themselves, how the material coming down would get spun up stream from where, and I said, yeah, and it does that. It goes zigzags back and forth, goes down, up, across every cell.
Yep.
And it was kind of cool seeing people actually understood that before I even had to explain it. So.
You could actually take what we call a smoke test or a fluid line test, which is actually, I forget what the CFD is called, computational fluid dynamics, but there's actually a term for it when you do it for artwork, where you have you create vortex shedding profiles with different types of colors of oils and pigments, and you run them through the fluid, and you get this pretty artwork, and they signature vortex shedding in all these different profiles. And so, but one of the things that we've done is we've actually done that with actually alcohol in fluids, in colored dye, in chilled water with oil, and we've watched our profiles. So we do high-speed photography. We've done a lot of testing when we were first developing DreamMat, trying to figure out exactly where the fluid was going and how it was moving, so we understood how to size the cell to make it work. And it actually forms a kinetic daisy chain. It looks like a snake, where it goes into one cell, jumps up, lifts up, and it's actually spinning like a rope on an axis, and it jumps into the other one. So the fluid profile down that whole row, because it switches back and forth, forms what we call, actually we've had to figure this term out with some physicists, a kinetic siphon, and creates a fluid profile that pulls the material down into the cells and holds it and lets it process through. And so there's a lot of neat things going on with the DreamMat that the more and more we look at, the more we discover that we have elegantly, not so much accidentally, it was on purpose, but we see a lot of delightful afterthoughts, but effects that the DreamMat does when it processes the material. In Dustin's favorite example, and I can't let this go without giving Dustin's favorite example, because it always makes a lot of sense to his guys he talks to, is just like if you were to put a little tracer on that piece of gold and just say that gold went through every cell, and not that it would, and it went through every cell, and it went into a cell, spun for a while, ejected, went to the next cell, and he did that, and you were to trace that, and it was like a line, and then you straighten that line out. How long is your sluice? He goes, some sluice, if it was able to go through the whole DreamMat, your sluice would be more than 20, 30 feet long. Because if you were to measure that path it took, and he goes, that's why the DreamMat works. And the other ones where it's like a brick and a pencil, where the brick is the fluid going over the top of the pencils that are spinning, and everything is rolling the direction of out the box. And every fluid dynamic profile is agitating and stirring, like all those little pencils the brick's rolling on. And every time the gold gets stirred, it gets stirred up and out, up and out, up and out. So there's never a profile that goes backwards against the flow and jams it down into a crack. So every time you have a fluid profile vertical across the perpendicular from the flow, if there is a fluid action going on, which is a hydraulic pump or vortex or whatever you want to call it, the direction of the profile is up in a circle, clockwise, going down and out. So it has to go up to go before it goes down. So it's basically going up and out before it goes down again. So it's basically aiding migration. It's causing migration to happen. So it's causing your gold to move. And this is the one thing I'm going to say, and I'm not going to try to beat up on marketing, but I'm just going to make a point here to everybody in the gold community. And I see this all the time, and I know other people have seen it, and they gotta wonder. They scratch their chin, and they go, "Why does it do that?" And they ask this question, and I'm gonna point it out. You see a lot of people, they do these, they go prospecting for a whole season, either up in Alaska or some other claim, and they got all this gold. And they're doing their final clean for the end of the season. And they throw all their gold in their system because they want to do a show, and they want to take pictures. They're proud of it. They've all worked hard. They should be proud of it. And they run it through their system, whether it's riffles or different types of matting. But it's all got that, the profiles are all, if you notice, perpendicular. They're that type of profile. And you see the big streak of gold go down the whole mat. And then it disappears and it runs off the end of the mat. And there's no person at the bottom of the mat saying, stop now, gold can't go any further. And that's migration. It's what you're seeing is the true migration pattern of the mat. So what you're seeing in that snapshot is not the ability for that mat to catch all the gold, but the ability for that mat to show its true migration pattern. And meaning that if it had an anti-migration pattern, the pattern would be very V-shaped, and the gold would heap up at the top of the box, and it would make like a sandbar, and it would cause basically, and it would taper out and go less. Now that would be an anti-migration pattern, meaning that the mat is breaking back the migration and causing gold to stay. But what you see is the slick goes straight, and the pattern doesn't change, and that's migration. So that they have to rerun that didn't catch, that went off the other end. Now with the Dream Mat, if you notice, when we run, a lot of people running these crushings and these tailings, and they're running all this stuff. We had a little 6x16 mini mat catch 9 ounces of gold in Australia. 9 ounces, not grams, 9 ounces. And they said they tested it over and over and over again. And they said they told Dustin this, and Dustin said, I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but I am because I'm a bad person and I like bragging. But he goes, we tested your mat over and over, and its capacity is only 9 and some point ounces. And I went to Dustin, I go, ounces? Not grams? He goes, no, ounces, Dave. And I go, is this bad? Dustin goes, no, it ain't bad at all. And he goes, and I go, so why are they making it sound like this is bad? It only catches 9 ounces. That's a lot of gold. And then you look at the mat, and you see the migration pattern. And it's mostly in the front of the mat. And then you see actually the further you go down the mat, you see the other parts that are the ore that isn't all gold. And you see the migration pattern. You see it all heaped up in the front. And so you actually see in the mat the loaded migration pattern that shows that it basically breaks the back of migration. And what they were doing is they were upset because they felt too much of the gold was sulfide golds, meaning that was all balled up and it was piling up in the sluice, and they wanted just a free-flowing, easy melt gold, and they didn't want to deal with the sulfides. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you got someone like Marty, who's my cube Jedi. He's a guy who prospects, and he has 2 sets of cubes, and he runs my Dream Mats in them. And what he was able to basically produce before and run through his systems with the regular conveyor belt, he's at like more than double speed now. And his recovery rate, is basically the same or somewhat a little better because he's got the micro mats on the top trays now. So he's got an extra mat that he didn't have before that that is on the top pattern. I got my boys are starting to get restless. They're wrestling right around me. It's pretty funny.
Boys will do that.
Yeah.
I'm not giving them enough attention, and I'm paying the price, and that's what a good father does anyways. So, but anyways, Marty, he gets this micro mat because he's been running the cube mini mat, and he's been loving it and getting great results and moving a lot of material. He says, I had all this material in my yard. It usually takes me a whole winter to run it all, but now I'm going to be out like in a month, because I could go out there and burn it, and he's getting good recovery. And then I gave him the micro mat because he's the cube Jedi. He gets actually better results than I do. I'm sorry, I have to admit that there's actually someone out there who runs the system better than I can run it actually in testing. So that's just life, and that's the reality. And I'm going to visit him one day, and I'm going to sit down and take video and watch him run it and figure out what the heck he's doing.
He's just running then.
Well, he's got a lot of material, so he's got more material than me. So I think he's just beat me by volume, maybe not by smarts, by sheer brute force. I'm teasing. But he gets this micro mat and he runs it, and I ask him, I go, so what do you think? And he's like, dude, I gotta have more. And he goes, because the micro mat's producing about tablespoon, not even a tablespoon, because tablespoon is pretty big. It's running about a teaspoon of cons, a little bit more, a big heaping teaspoon, like 2 cons. And it's like, that's all the cons that Matt catches. Now this Matt, I wouldn't consider it an ultimate, basically, full-fledged sluicing capture mat. This is more like an indicator mat. But what this mat is doing is high grading. It's allowing you to have a good indication of what's going through your system. It catches really good, produces little cons, and then Marty's saying he's seeing at sometimes more than 80% in this thing compared to the mat below. I go, that's insane. He goes, not all the time. But he goes, there are times where I'm running material and it's just the right size, which would obviously mean it's really grainy, crushed material that he's running that has a low surface tension. So job catching up, because some gold that's more flighty, of course, is going to be more elusive, like the beach gold. It's just a reality of physics. Nothing catches it all. And say that you do is marketing. It doesn't exist. And we're dealing actually with a guy right now, Mike Bobbitt. He's a great customer, and he's a great Dream Mat supporter, and he's a great guy. And he's out doing some dredging with the dredge mat and tailing behind it with 2 8-inch mini mats. So he's got like basically 12 by 36 going out to 16 by 36 with mini mats on it, and he's dredging, but his dredge has a high maker attachments, like has a screen, and he's going after basically the fine gold, because it's basically just solid black sands in between all the rocks. It's just insane. It's like the grass is just growing in black sands, because it's so rich. Like people say that the black sands help stuff grow. And anyways, and he's going after this fine gold. Well, we all know that when you get high velocity and water flow moving, you don't slow down, the leafs are going to blow out the building. And he's just trying to figure out how long he's got to run, have good, acceptable losses, and be able to push volume where the volume makes a difference, which is the dredge. So here he is, where some people should be, like they would say, running very slow, or cubing, is another term people use for running a little small, real low flow, low volume, trying to get it all. And he's sitting there thinking, well, I want to catch as much as I can, but I want to push volume. And he's tuning the system in, and he's loving it. And we're looking at what he's losing in the tailings, because he's actually checking his tailings with a whole bunch of air sluices. It looks like a bunch of sluices pulling into a drive-in theater in the old days, where you kind of got everybody coming up to the end, and you got all these different little sluices out behind it, like they're like salmon coming upstream, tailing behind her. So he's seeing with all their other sluices they have to see what he's losing, and he's already feeling his acceptable losses. We're looking at it going, well, you could probably still always do something to make it better, and a lot of it, I think, is classification and velocity. You'll find the point where you'll classify down more, which makes sense, and you'll run less velocity, and you'll zone in on the volume rather than running everything through and having to need that high velocity to push all those bigger rocks out, stuff like that. But he's having a blast. He's packing up and coming home tonight or something like that. They think snow's coming in. But anyways, so people are seeing that the Dream Mat is doing good. It's being accepted more and more, and it is pretty extreme. It is a total. When we developed the first Kairos Vortex system that went on to the mine up in Alaska, and the people in the bar and his friends would just go, everything you're doing there is against mining, where you're trying to take the gold back upstream and capture it rather than capture it the traditional way. And they had some great seasons, even though they ran out of pay at their site, because it just is an older site, and it happens. You get a mine that's the gold will last forever, and gold has to go above a certain price before you get the equipment out. You got to have so much volume. It's real world mining. You got budgets to pay. But anyways, so we're excited. We got the industrial mats out there. Hopefully, we're going to see a great show in the stuff. But really, what we want to focus on, is the super duper awesome little toy that everybody's got to have this Christmas, and it's this dang pocket sluice. Put it in your back pocket, take it with you wherever you go, have a spare one in case the wife finds it and thinks that throws it away. Remember the Ugly Stick commercial where the wife says, "You're not going fishing today," and she tries to break his ugly stick, and he's just sitting there eating, just staring, watching her, and she can't break it, and she gets all mad, and he just pulls it out of the trash compactor and goes fishing. You know, this is that little deal where, you know, she says, we're going on a trip and you're not prospecting. It's like, yeah, we are. I got my pockets loose with me. You know, there are some of us that are healthily addicted to this, and we need things like this to keep our sanity going, because we might see a pile of dirt or that stream. And if we drive by it, we'll never drive by that stream again, and we'll never know. And there could be gold in there, and there's much too much at risk to pass that stream up without putting the sluice in it.
Every time I go by a stream, that's what I do. I look, I want to stop.
We went for a family hike up the pole, up the past pole bridge up into the park, and to Elizabeth. The lake is. Anyways, up to one of the lakes, Logging Lake, Quartz Lake, Kitla Lake. We went up to Kitla, and we're getting ready to leave, and I grabbed the shovel and the bucket and the sluice, and I put it in the back of the truck. My wife looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?" We're going for a hike, going to the lake, and I'm going, but we might see a creek that's really good.
Well,
she's like looking at me like, whatever. I'm like, no, you just gotta know. And so, you know, and of course we're at the lake, and so what's, you know, when everybody else is supposed to be looking at the mountains and the scenery and taking pictures and ooh ah and or just Glacier Park, and here I'm looking at the ground looking for rocks with quartz and stuff in them.
Yeah, that's the thing about this, man. You always got people wanting to know, well, does it catch the fine gold? Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But what about the big gold? Yeah, it catches that
yeah.
too. It catches.
We have we used to have 7, but now we have 9 trommels up at the gold claim for our prospecting club and the Northwest Prospectors Club. And they're 255-gallon drums. They're homemade, welded together with a little motor on them, and they got a 12-inch by 36-inch sluice sticking out the back sideways. And we line them up, we run water to them, and we pile all the dirt from the claim. The excavator digs it up, and then the little truck, the little dump truck goes up the hill and dumps it off, and we pile it up, and 2 people shovel at a time into these trommels all day for 2.5 days. You know, so we got Friday, Saturday, and half a day Sunday. You know, the club outings, and there's usually 2 or 1 a month during the summer. You know, so and then they split the split. And the first dream at that went in was one of the gals that tried my sluice in the creek. She loved it, and everybody's and so like the trommels are sponsored. They're built by people that have been with the club forever, and they maintenance them every year and keep them going. And she will put the dream mat in her sluice, and hers is actually a 10-inch box on hers, and she put the dream mat in it. And it was wasn't the first weekend. It was the second weekend that the second outing that mat was used. One of the gals, who was at that time she was the wife to the president of the club, sent me a picture, you know, texted me a picture and said, "Hey, check this out. We found these on the dream mat this weekend." And she's holding these 2 nuggets, and they're like the size of, well, she's a gal's hand, the size of her fingernails. They're flat and they're big. She goes, "We found these on the dream mat weekend." And we actually found 3. This was just the 2 that were in the cleanup. And she showed me the picture right when they turned off the water, right where they were, right up the top. And she goes, "This is really cool." And I go, "Yeah, you guys talk about some nuggets this weekend," because they find mostly a lot of finer stuff. They don't really find a lot of nuggets. And I go, "So,"
like most of us.
You know, I asked the question like everybody else would ask. That's equipment builders. I go, "So," at that time there were 7 trommels. And I go, "So how many of the other trommels caught any nuggets this weekend?" And she goes, "Well, none did. They didn't think about that." So does the dream mat catch gold? And then the guys in Australia, well, they should know. They got big gold, and they got big nuggets. They got rough nuggets and flat nuggets and goofy-shaped nuggets, and they all make us jealous. And they're all evil because they don't share with us. I'm teasing.
They don't share. Oh, yeah. No, that's not true. Some do share.
I know.
We have a friend that shares. Oh, yeah.
I'm just teasing. Actually, they have. I've actually had some.
But they definitely have some pretty gold.
Yeah, they have some pretty gold. They make us jealous. But anyways, they have great pictures of big gold being caught in the dream mat. And,
right.
And it does a great job. And I've done tests. You know, nobody wants to see tests. No, but I've done tests. I got a bunch of flat gold. I bought a bunch of pay dirt just to do some tests, and I bartered a bunch of pay dirt, and the videos are out there. I bartered a bunch of pay dirt, said I'll barter any bag of pay dirt for any kind of mat you want. I just want to do a pay dirt contest and run through the 8-inch mat and have a kind of or the 6-inch mini mat, the 6x16, just to show how good its recovery is. Because people are saying, how good is this recovery? And it kind of weirds people out where I could take bag after bag after bag of pay dirt and run through that little 6-inch sluice with a little power head and then show what we lost and then show what we caught. And so here's a 6-inch mat that is actually not even seeing migration to the back of it in 16 inches. And we're catching these big flakes and this big gold. It's not migrating. And people are, I don't know what they think. It's just, we're crazy. And it's like that, man, So and then I took all the gold and then I did a sluice off comparing to some other products. And I won't mention them on the show, but to kind of show the difference between the migration of the other products running the same material with all the same gold through them, and not even have to really look at the tailings, just looking at who catches the most. And
that's where can people see those videos?
Oh, on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I got a YouTube channel with a lot of videos. And what people should really see about my YouTube channel, which is better than my videos, is the fact that I like every video that I see of Dream Mat that gets put out there on YouTube.
Well, I have no doubt.
And I have almost a collection of 300 videos that other people have put out that love Dream Mat in my liked videos, showing people that weren't paid or product producing or nothing. These are people that are just showing their Dream Mat and they're excited about it, and they make a YouTube video. And the gold that they're catching and how they're running it and what they feel about it, what they think about it. And it's exciting. I got like about, 30 or so videos of testing, but it's me. I'm biased. I love my product better than everybody else's. That's just the way it is. And we all love our children.
Yeah. I have you got some of my videos in there too, right? Where I show.
And I know I don't got them all. There are weeks that go by because I get busy and I hit YouTube and I'm like, dude, I didn't see this video. I haven't seen this video.
I know you keep. Hey, when did this video come out?
Yeah. And every once in a while, I get mean people who want to beat me up, like Caleb, and he goes, "Did you watch my video?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're thinking, I missed it. I watch it before he gets me, And he's like, "Have you watched my video yet?" And I'm like,
So, Caleb tested was your first beta tester, right? On the dredge mat?
One of them. Yes.
One of the first ones. So what kind of feedback have you gotten from him? I mean, I'm sure he's pulled you off to the side and talked to you.
He ran it at Patrick's.
He feels, that every hole's different, and he felt he did poorer at his claim this year than he has done in previous years. And so it's hard to say, I caught more gold just because of the Dream Mat, because he actually felt he didn't have enough time to go prospecting. He went up there really quick. He didn't really get digging deep holes. He felt he didn't get good spots. But I said, how does the sluice work? Do you feel you're doing good? And he goes, I would have a hard time even considering going back to what I was running before, because it worked. I think it works that good. It's obvious you can see it. And see, he just ran the regular Dream Mat with his high banker dredge. And I think 2-inch. I don't even think it's 2.5.
2-inch.
And that thing, the ability to catch, more gold in areas where other people are, when you're seeing the difference, when you're in an area where you're sluicing around other people and you're seeing the difference that you're getting a lot of gold is good, because we all want to catch as much as we can, and we always are. Some people are competitive, hopefully in a fun way. I'm very competitive, and I'm one of those guys who egg it on. But if I was to lose, I would be laughing and hugging and crying with you, because that I grew up with 3 older brothers, and we are fiercely competitive. But when somebody else wins, it's because they had the faster car or they had the bigger fists, and it's just life. We move on, and no one system is the best, and no one system does it all, and no one system catches all the gold. But what we tried to really do is just tried to create a system And the reason this product was birthed out of the fact that I was losing gold in a previous system, and with my uncle who got me turned on to prospecting as a disabled vet. So I was his pack horse, and I'd pack his crap up down to the creek all the time, and I would do the digging. So I felt it very personal and insulting that the system I was using was losing my gold. And so that's how DreamMat got birthed, is because I felt that the systems we were using were catching all the gold. And we have flea fart gold, and we don't got very much, and you got to dig a lot just to get a lot of sparkles. And what everybody used to say on Libby Creek is, it doesn't matter how much you dig, you always see the same number in the pan. Because the cons, which holds the pan, the systems will only hold so much gold, it would just migrate through. So it didn't matter if you sluiced for 10 minutes or you sluiced for 2 hours. You saw the same amount of gold. Right. And it was nuts because the gold is so small and so flighty. And it's like the gold. Actually, I thought of actually taking a bucket of hydrogen peroxide down to the creek and picking up the slimy rocks that have the slime on them, because all the gold would be stuck to the slime, and just dipping rocks in hydrogen peroxide rather than sluicing and taking the sparkly rocks and getting the gold off them and thinking I'd get more gold than sluicing, because that's how fine the gold is. And that's what it looks like down there. And so, and that's, that's one of the ideas I had, because it's crazy. You dig deep and you get into the area where there's, I guess you call it an aquifer, and there's materials flowing through a stream bed, and it's kind of active underneath, and it's trapping gold, and you got these slimy rocks, and you pull them out, and you're like, oh, check out this rock, all this gold on this rock, and you'd be looking at it, and we'd take these rocks home. And we had all these rocks. We'd be taking them home, me and my uncle, all the time. And then we put them in a bucket, and we let the bucket dry out. And then we'd be in the shed, and we talk about crushing these rocks, because, of course, these rocks don't have like that much gold all the way through them, because that's what we're taking. And then we pull these rocks out, and we look at them when they're dry, and we're trying to find the gold on them again. We couldn't find it. And we get them wet again, and we'd look for the gold. The slime layer would dry up, and the gold would blow off. And so we were trying to, that's how light and flighty the gold is in these glacier areas. It's pummeled to nothing. And my boy is skateboarding behind me and just wiped out because I have
wiped out.
Good wholesome family entertainment.
Yeah,
that's all about. And we get lots of entertainment, and he often mortally wounds himself in so anyways, cool stuff.
Mortally, he must be
anyway, so there's been gold is fun. It seems like it's one of those prospecting is fun. It's one of those activities that it's just amazing how you can take it as far as you want to, and you could get just a weekend warrior. Not saying that in a bad way, but just enjoy getting out and enjoying the people more, rather than getting the gold and just being out in the stream to the guy who's out there counting the flea farts. And we've seen them, and we go through these phases where it's more about the people and drinking good apple beer and eating hot dogs and stuff burnt over the campfire than it is about the gold. In some trips, it's more about just getting away. In some trips, I want to go get a bunch of gold. And we go through phases, and all we're doing is just trying to develop great fun products that people can take out and see a difference. And that's what I hope people see. My honest opinion is, if I didn't have all the people texting me and messaging me, I often tell people, when I sometimes I offer deals, and I say, message me, let me know if you're interested. And they message me once, and then I'll say, they message me about a month later, say, hey, you never returned my message. It's like, buddy, you dropped off in like 20 minutes and you were gone. I mean, I'm not scrolling down that far. You don't realize how many messages I get from people saying, man, I ran your DreamMat. It's awesome. Or people just wanting to talk to me. And I basically, one of my things I've decided to do in the evenings, when after the kids go to bed, me and the wife sit there and either watch TV, or I respond basically to my customers and people who talk to them about DreamMat. And it's basically engaging with the community and being there, instead of being this guy who's elusive and just shows up and waves and Barbie dolls and goes home. So I'm very easy to get a hold of.
I'm aware of your late night texting.
Yeah, and so, but I'm one of those guys.
Notifications with you.
It's hard to sleep. Yeah, I always got something going on in my mind. It's hard to sleep. I'm an Avenger.
Yeah, but it's always when I'm about ready to go to sleep. We're 2 hours ahead of you.
Yeah. You guys, I'll text some people, and I realize that they're a couple time zones behind me, but I got something exciting to share.
Right.
But it's nice to bug some other people every once in a while. So there people bug me because I get a lot of people from Europe and a lot of people from Australia. They don't time zone differences, and I get the ping, and every once in a while it's funny. One thing I've learned not to do is when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the bathroom, I don't look at my phone, because if I do, I'll have a conversation from somebody in France.
Oh no, Jesse responded to me earlier.
and so it's just hurry up and go back to bed, and so so I work the day job. I go to work and I focus on the day job, and I come home, and it's my hobby, it's my passion, it's what I'm kind of in right now besides my family. So of course, we don't, me and the wife don't go out to the bar, and or we don't go have a nightlife. So we're the boring people that sit in the chairs and either pick a Netflix series to watch, and then the Netflix series sucks. So you're really just looking at your phone, looking every once in a while when something blows up, and it's like, oh, cool, something blew up. Rewind it.
Rewind it and watch it again.
Who died? Did they all die?
Yeah.
And I try to keep it light. I hope people appreciate it. I try to be my best as providing the product.
Oh yeah.
I do shipping.
It's all about fun, right?
I do. It is about fun. I hope there's no prospecting emergencies and nobody's died yet because they haven't got their dream mat on time. I'm teasing.
Well, speaking of getting the dream mat on time, did you say something about you were thinking about giving one away tonight? One or two?
One couple.
Yes, thank you. I have what I would call a bunch of these little mini sluices, okay? And they're the rubber we have chose to make is a certain hardness. Well, we had to experiment first. Well, our first experimentation is about 30 or 40. I think I got 30 or 40 ones that are a little soft, but they're still good. They're perfectly good. They're still a little soft. They just flex more. They ain't as hard, but they ain't going to deform or warp on you. But they're just a little soft. And I'm going to give all those away. And so, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to do a little Facebook little giveaway. But as far as for tonight on the thing here, however Ed and Jesse want to do it, if they want to give away 5 of them, however they want 5 people to call in or try and get one or whatever, the first 5 people on the phone or the first people to text say I want one. I don't know. I don't really want to do their giveaway. I don't know.
Hold on, I got a caller calling in.
All right.
That's a quick one.
Kind of early, Hook.
A couple time zones behind me, but I got something exciting to share.
Yeah, your volume up, Hook.
Is that better?
Yeah, I never opened no lines yet, though, brother. What's up?
Oh, I thought you did. Well, I always walk my property in my neighborhood, and I thought I received was open. I'm sorry. Maybe I can do something else.
Yeah.
Give him one for being the first caller for the day.
Dang right.
There you go.
Winner?
Just get us information and pass it on to me.
Okay.
Send Jesse your address, Hook.
I will.
Winner.
And
winner, chicken
pass
dinner.
it on to David, and you'll get one of these.
One of these what? Yeah, because I'm willing to do some testing, but my stuff's high pressure.
This,
you know that.
This won't fit in your dredge.
This is a booby prize.
A booby prize. I love those. I'm just going to say that.
This is the ultimate stocking stuffer.
You can make you can be the first person to make the stocking stuffing dredge that goes around it. Little dredge, little pontoons, popsicle sticks, and stuff like that.
I got a little wife with big pontoons. I got plenty of stuff and stuff. Oh, Mama's she's on the guard now.
Okay, you're in the Watch out for the hook head, Hooker.
Yeah, the hook head's half Irish, half Indian. I better watch it. She hates all of us, by the way.
Oh, no, she don't.
No, she don't hate us. She loves us. She might hate you.
Oh, she said, Jesse says, you love all of them, but not me. Well, she said that might be true.
Dang it, man.
Well, I don't know. Ron for the.
Well, I'm telling you guys, I'm back in with the farming community, and I've got a lot of prospecting coming available, and I was wanting to talk about that, and I'm sorry I jumped in a little quick. But anyway, I've been out for a little bit, but it's just because I'm trying to move things forward for the business. The copyrights are going through, and you guys are going to see a big difference next year with my stuff. So I just want to let you know. But I'm working dark till dark in the fields right now, getting permission.
So I'll give you a call sometime tomorrow, Hook, and let's see what we can do about hooking you up with the dredge mat.
All right.
Well, I really would like to try it because you know what I'm sold on, but I'll try the other. I will test it, and I'll run it to death. You know I will.
Jesse used to be sold on that same mat, if I remember right.
Yeah, I switched from the hog to this simply because I've been running the hog for a while, and I ran all my stuff that I'd been saving at home and found a whole lot more gold. So I switched over, and I've been giving my hog man away. I've been trading.
I'm willing to test it out, but until I see, because you guys know I run high pressure pumps. I run King's top of the line on everything, and I sold the one dredge to John, but bottom line is I've got another 4-inch that no one knows about. Well, you guys have heard about it, you just never seen it.
Right.
Okay.
So, and there's a reason for that.
We'll get that. Give me your address tomorrow, and I'll give it to Dave, and we'll get that shipped off. So.
And this is what you got right here. It might show up. I know YouTube's been being a beep.
Oh yeah, you ain't gotta tell me. I've been trying to get mine started, and it's been a pain in my butt. And I've had it for a year, and every time I try to post something, when I get a few moments, it just won't let me post it. I don't know what the deal is. But I've been running crops.
We want to give away some more. So, like I said, I will get a hold of you tomorrow.
Okay, and I hope I get to see you guys back soon when the weather's good, man. I promise you, I found a new streak down there, and we had John Walsh on it, and I don't know if you met him. Hey, John Walsh was overwhelmed with the gold he found. He really liked it. I mean, at least that's what he said to me. Or John Shaw. I don't know why I said Walsh. John Shaw. But, and he bought one of my dredges. He bought the one I normally run, but no one's seen the experimental yet. It's going to be coming out soon, though.
Right on.
All right. Well, when the lines open up, please give me a chance because I really want to talk to David.
You're on right now.
I like what I've seen.
Ask David a question. You're on right now. No need to call back again. Ask David a question.
Well, I can't hear nothing.
And because you've been talking.
Duh.
Oh, well, I didn't. I thought I was just talking to you guys outside. Well, now I feel like an idiot. Well, damn it. Crap.
Yeah, so
I'm going to go outside for a safety meeting.
But
anyway,
David,
all right.
This is Jonathan Perrette from Hookmeisters.
He has pay-to-dig locations in southern Indiana and some pretty good gold country.
Awesome.
Of course, he doesn't put us on the gold, but you know.
Well,
hey, I can't help it.
I can tie a chain of dredge hat to Jesse or Ed, so they have to be there when it gets run because they're chained to it, and you go prospecting with them.
Oh no, they come down during flood season. They don't know when to come down when the weather's good, so that's not my fault.
When you invited us down, you caused it. You called the government and had what's that? HARP create a storm over us.
Had clouds seeded.
And made us work way up on the gravel bar so we couldn't get into your pay streaks. We know.
Well, hey, I saved it for Chris Dyer and
we know
for Luke Duke. Hey, they got on it. I'm sorry, and John Shaw was right in the heart of it. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Us, you invite the rain and did your rain dance and everything else.
You guys must be from the wrong side of the Ohio River. See, everybody else is from, well, except for, no, Chris is on, no, I can't say that. Chris is on that side too. Daggone, I just showed favoritism. Man, that ain't good.
Well, we already knew that all anyway, so.
Okay, John, we have another caller on. Hey, John. Hook.
Yeah.
We have another caller on, so ask David your question, and we'll have Jesse get
my question then is on with his test running that he's done, what for a 4-inch dredge, if he has done it, what is the strongest or most high-powered pump he has used with a 4-inch dredge, and roughly what angle of degree was he running his sluice at on his dredge?
Well, I'm running a 4-inch dredge, and I'm running a 16 by 48 box, and then I have another friend who has a Keen 4-inch dredge. The one I have is an older Keen 4-inch dredge. It used to be one of the triples. The stacked on top of each other's, but now it's just
I know what those are. I sold one of those.
It's just a single now. And then I have a friend, actually, that ran the same 16 by 48 in his 4-inch dredge, which was the newer Keen dredge, which is just a flat box. And I have them. So basically, we got to see the difference between those two pumps: the older pump, which was a smaller Keen pump, and then they had the newer. He has the newer box had the larger Keen pump on it. So basically, we're seeing about anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches of water in the box, depending on the rock flow when it's going through. And they're both flare fed sluices or dredges, so there's a flare coming into it, so it's got the higher velocity coming right out of the box. And mine has just a small little skid plate, which is actually the clamp, and it's got a little bit expanded metal there right at the flare. The one that my friend has basically that little expanded metal screen that kind of clamps down with those little tabs that twist down, so you have like the screen where everything falls on top of the big punch plate that's like, it is a really bad old 3/8 plate, it's the older stuff where the perf isn't really open, but it's meant to launch the rocks off so they don't hang up. And we ran it without it. And so basically we did not see the mat be overburdened or overworked with material. Now, the rule of thumb, according to the old timers, when the sluice and articles were first being written, is that you should run your nozzle at about a 10% capacity, and to allow for gold capture. And so when we were watching Braxton do his box, he was probably running about 30% when he was running, but a lot of times he was flipping rocks, meaning he was in a real rocky area, so there was a lot of clean water flowing through. When me and my buddy ran my box, we purposely went into a silty sandbar that you could just basically suck, load the tube nonstop, and we were running past a 60% capacity, and we saw the mat process the material very, very, very efficiently.
All right. Okay. everybody does
There's videos of that on YouTube, so you can see it actually.
I've seen several of your videos, and this is why I'm wondering, and this is the reason why I'm asking. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I love dredging. I kind of get stupid when it comes to water, and I don't know when to come up, so I just stay under and just run. But the bottom line is, the thing is, since and this ain't putting you down or anything, I'm willing to do anything I can to figure out what's best. And the goat hog was a new thing introduced to everybody, and I loved it. I kept thinking about something like that, but I had no money to back it up. Well, it come out, and I started experimenting. I love it. I run a 4-inch, 16 inches wide, with a 350 high-pressure Keen pump, and I run it on a Honda GX200. The thing is I'm willing to do whatever, and I will compare anything. People see a lot of the pictures of the gold. I find in fine gold, I'm pulling out 3.7, 3.9 grams per day in 8 hours, I mean, in Indiana. And sometimes a little more than that. Depends if I go on my honey hole, but I only take special people to that place. But anyway, I'm willing to do anything and test anything, because I do build equipment. I got a welder, bender, the whole 9 yards, and I am looking at bringing 3 products with copyrights in on the spring. And I want what best works with that equipment or whatever. And just like anybody, we're always looking for the optimal that we can get out of fine and coarse gold, both the same, because they all weigh up.
Well, here's the thing,
whether it's just fine or heavy.
Look, here's the thing that I find about this mat. I have a cleanup sluice built by Paul Jarvis up in Canada. Do It All Paul. Nice little box.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Okay. Now, when he runs that sluice, he runs it slow and almost flat, right? And that's the way he likes to run it. I run that exact same sluice a lot faster and a little bit more pitch than he does, and we still both get the gold. The thing about this mat, it's capable of running slow, deep water, fast, deep water. You don't have to be as precise as you have to be like with Gold Hog. With Gold Hog, you gotta get just right. You gotta get everything set up perfect. With
I run anywhere from 7 to 11%. Yes, I know.
A lot of what happens, is monitoring. That's the big thing with a lot of that type of system.
Test your tailings.
Not test your tailings. Monitoring, meaning that in the old days they used to call it monitors. They could sit up in there in the crash box area. The bucket would drop off the material. The equipment would, and it was his job to make sure that material lasted until the next bucket showed up, because they knew and understood with the way the fluid bed is with Hungarian riffles and in the miner's moss and in the expanded metal they're using today, that if they didn't monitor it and they let that box run clean, it would clean itself out.
Right.
Okay. So that was their job to monitor and always make sure pay was running through the box. In a lot of systems that have the pattern that's perpendicular to the flow, minute you stop running material through it and you clear up, or your nozzle plugs, or you're flipping a rock, or you're in a situation where you're in transition, you're blowing out your pay because it cannot hold it in there. So one thing about the Dream Mat is that that ain't gonna happen. It is eliminate that migration factor, and we have actually sat there and done tests where we've put the gold in the box and we've run the dirt over it. We'll put the gold in the box, run the dirt over it, and sit there and let the piece of equipment run and sit there and think, how long is it going to be before we look at an empty box? and you got the box set right, and you got the flow set right, it doesn't, your black sands are holding in there, and you come back and it's there. Last video I just did a little while ago, I was having some fun. Oh no, it's this video that I'm getting ready to release tonight. Me and my brother sat down and ate lunch, had our sluices in the stream. And we ate lunch and we left them in the stream. The whole time we ate lunch, and we talked for about an hour. When we got back, all our cells are full of black sand. And on that black sand, that fluid bed was spinning, was all that fine gold that was in there, and there was gold on the mat. We could see it. And the deal is it wasn't blown out. We didn't have to worry about it. And that's one of the benefits of Dream Mat, is that the physics behind it allow it to hold the gold, and it doesn't migrate it out. So that's one of the beauties of it. And it took a lot of tears and a lot of time to get to that point. And my uncle almost abandoned me in my quest of the Holy Grail because he was sick of being around me and my obsessiveness. But it finally paid off, and he still loves me for some reason. And so it's kind of paid off two ways, So,
all right.
But nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. And
oh no, you can't be
but
perfect.
It's one of those things where we think we've developed a system that has a lot of benefits that it makes. Our goal is make it easier, make it funner, and so it'll be able to move more material, be able to do less work. So plus we don't have to classify. That's what with dredge is, you don't classify. But with the regular system, we don't have to classify, so we cut out a step there. So you can run any kind of material over it. And so you can just have fun. It'll still catch the fine gold, and it'll still catch the big gold. And so that makes the workload less. And plus the cons are less. So that means we have less cons to go through, so it's easier to see our gold at the end. And then, so in the cleanup is, that's the cleanup. I mean, there are people in Australia that like to clean their mats out over a pan, and instead of putting them in a bucket to prove how quick the clean outs are. People showing off how easy the cleanup is. And so it's one of those things where here you got a system where the mat's very durable, and it'll last a lifetime, 100% warranty on the material itself. The material is 40% cost of the mat. That's why the mats cost what they do, is because the material is too dang expensive. It'll last you a lifetime. Right. If anything ever happens with your mat, you got to say, hey, my mat, I'm not happy with the way my mat looks. And usually I tell some people, send them back. Some people I say, I just keep them. I send them a new mat. It's 100% for a prospector, lifetime warranty. So the mat is bulletproof. And so here's a product that my kids can hang over the swing set on and tear on. I can use it for actually a swing seat. And then you got other products that you got to glue together or they would tear because they're vulcanized rubber. If I had, there's other products I could name them where I could rip the mats in half with my hand. And these are mats that are in a dredge. I could take them and rip them in half with my hand because they're vulcanized rubber. And so we're paying a premium for this product. And there's other products that they warp and twist, and they get hard, and they're hard to get in and out of the box, or hard to clean up. And here's a mat that you can pull out, and you can slap somebody with and put it back in, and it's clean and be going. And that was a lot of the goals to the product was, let's make a product that has all these great, weird benefits to it that just make it just really awesome, and for a good price. And where we ran into the price issue was on our mats that makes them a premium. And a lot of people say your product's a premium product. It is. It's because we chose a lifetime warranted material, which is expensive. And I search probably once a month. Once a month I call states, and I even see who's all making resin in those states. And I call these industries and try and find resin that's cheaper to try and bring the cost of the mat down. And I've already done that homework as an engineer or engineering type guy, and do mechanical design and specking out materials and being actually in a lot of ways an expert in plastics and in molding. And I can't find the resin cheaper than where I'm getting it from. I get it shipped from Georgia because it's so much cheaper in Georgia. I got to pay shipping on top of that, but it's still cheaper. And it's one of those things where this material is 40% the cost of the product because we decided that it wouldn't be a good product unless it was bulletproof material, because that's the last thing we want. And we actually had a batch of resin that was bad because they forgot to put the UV in it because it was a salesman's fault. And he said he's sorry. He gave me lots of hugs. But I said, thanks a lot, because now I got to do damage control. Well, I've already done the damage control. And I've just replaced the mats. And I ate the cost. And because I want people to know, no matter what, no one's ever going to be able to say, I got a bad dream mat. Because That's where we're at. Now, if you're mining, I ain't going to give you a lifetime warranty if you're mining. Because if you wear out your mat because you're mining and you're finding all that gold, you can afford to buy another mat.
There you go.
Or if you can't and you're mining and you wear it out, you need to find another profession or another spot. Okay, so either way.
I understand that, but I tell you this, I'm one of those guys, I got a lot of guns. I'm willing to test that theory on bulletproof. But anyway, you know, I'm out there I'm in Indiana, and it's basically place your gold. So you find good heavy gold or you find just lots of flour. And I tell you, I'm looking to optimize that as much as possible, and I'll test any theory you're willing to do if you're willing to work with me.
Go to my website and hit the contact link and drop me an email. Say we talked on the show and let's get something going. It's prospectorsdreams@hotmail.com. Just send me an email or hit my contact and it'll email me. Say, hey, we talked on the show. Let's get a dredge mat going. Let's get it going and let's have some fun. So far, no one's been disappointed or sent it back or say they don't love it. So let's see what happens.
And hey, I'm all right with that because right now I've got 2 properties open. I got 13 available, but all my landowners they're old timers and they're older than we are. I can tell you that. That's all I'm gonna say. But they'll outwork almost all of us. So. But anyway, it was nice hearing that. But like I said, my 4-inch, I run a 350 HP on it and from Keen, and it puts out a lot of water compared to head pressure. But the way I got mine set up now, I'm doing pretty good, and I would really like to see something that might do even better with less cons. That's what I'm looking for. Because, like you said, people want easy, fast, and fun.
I'll tell you this, Hook. The clean out with the Dream mat is by far faster than any other mat I've dealt with.
Well, I got the properties.
Even though my Miracle mat I got with Mini-Max is pretty quick.
It's like rolling a hot dog down a hallway.
I don't really like that mat.
Okay, I'm not trying to start a war. I'm just trying to look for. You guys are nuts. Hey, you have been a great guest tonight. Glad to hear you on here tonight. I've been waiting to have a chance to talk to you. Jesse, Eden, you got my personal number. I'll make sure in an email that David, you get mine. You'll have all my personal information or whatever in my email, and I will get with you. 4 o'clock's coming early for me, and I'm going to be back out in the fields watching deer, drooling over creeks, and drooling over deer meat. So,
all right.
Thank you very much, you guys. A great show tonight.
Thanks, Hook.
See y'all later. Bye.
Later.
See you, bud. All right, Hook of Hookmeisters out prospecting and outdoors. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're having some.
He's like you, David. Boy wants to get talking.
Yeah.
I have friends that look at me and they say, "Put an amen to it."
Now we've had other people dying to have a chance to win one of these cool little pocket sluices. Pocket sluice, yeah.
Pocket sluice.
It's a little softer than the one for sale, but it's free. You can't pass it up.
Oh yeah, and I have no doubt it will work. And
it works fine. I've actually been running them in the creek, testing them. If you had cold water,
I've seen your video.
It's kind of hard. Yep.
I've seen the video. What do you think, Jesse? Like the 5th caller?
The next caller.
the next caller.
The next caller.
Sorry,
The next
10:30. You'll
caller.
be here till 1 o'clock. 5 callers.
True.
Yeah, right. The next
The
caller.
heck?
Well,
And if we don't get a caller within 10 minutes, then we'll save it for another night.
yeah.
Well, actually, let's give one away to the first person who asked for one on the chat.
All right. Who is it? Let's see.
First one that said,
I'm
"I
looking.
want one." Whatever.
I'm looking.
Starting now.
No, the first one in the house that wanted one. Go back, scroll down your list. Whoever was the first one that said, "I want."
That might
Go.
be a ways back.
You do it, Dano.
I'm looking.
Yeah, Ken says Ken Backler. He's been
Ken
running.
thinks he wins everything. Ken thinks he's special. We should probably not give him two.
No, I was just commenting on this
I would actually give Ken one on the side because he's just a great guy, so he doesn't need to win one. We'll give one to someone else.
All right.
But
He says he's been running this green match for 2 years in Michigan. Had to replace the first mat. Yeah, me too, Kent. That was that first match he made.
Yep, I had no UV in them, and they died. And
Yeah, they died quick. Well, that was.
Kent also said something a little back about Matt for his gold grabber. His gold grabber dredge. You know how they flare?
Yeah. Well, we're I wish I could design a dream mat for every shape of thing that's out there, but can't quite pave the world with dream mat yet. So we got to kind of stay within something we know we can sell over and over and over again, or else we have all this R&D cost and we sell one of them and we go broke.
Looks like Luke Duke, guys.
Luke Duke?
Luke Duke was the first to ask, and right after him, Ron for the Hills Mining was.
All right. How y'all doing this evening?
Hey, there's our buddy.
Luke Duke.
Don't get one. Ron, don't get one because I'm going to be giving him one anyway. He's running for the Hills, he will get one. So
Luke Duke was the first one.
All right.
Luke Duke, are you still in the house?
Yep, he's here. Well, he was a minute ago.
Just have him email us his information, and we'll get him a little trinket.
Oh, gee whiz. People, calm down. Wait your turn. Wait your turn.
What's up?
And calm down.
Hello.
Hey, how y'all?
First in line was John Wolf. We have 3 phone lines going, plus our guests and the codes. So everybody, please.
So far we got Hook, Luke Duke, and John Wolf, right? No, Ron, you're not getting one.
All right.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
How you doing, David?
Get one, just not on the show. You'll get one later.
Okay, John. How you doing tonight down in Texas?
Doing good. I'm visiting with the wife a little bit. She had to go in the hospital for a minute. Had their oxygen count went a little low, so they're getting that back on up where it needs to be. But we're doing good down here.
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and say hello to David. I was one of his testers on the first Dream Mat.
Right.
All right, you were.
So when are you sending him one, David?
Yeah, we'll send him one.
Off this, or are you going to send him one off the side?
No, I'll send him one. I'll send him one off of this. We'll still give another person one, even though I know John. We'll send him one anyway.
Okay.
He's just gotta send me his information again, so I have it, because or else I'll forget and I'll my brain won't be able to absorb it.
So it looks like
no problem, David.
Dana, where are we at? Who's next?
Thanks, John, for testing. That was awesome.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly did, and like I say, I still use the one piece in my cleanup system. That way, like I said, I run a little bit of everything in it.
Love it when I release this little video with the bucket little attachment that I made. It'll make you
I love that thing. That's cool.
So do I.
The thing is we couldn't tell how you had your hoses running through the bucket.
Well, because it was magic, Jesse.
Well, show us the trick.
The unicorn farted.
Hey, it's unicorn mad. It's always magical.
That's right. It farts pixie dust.
So, Dano, who's the next person, Dano?
We have 2 other people on the line.
Oh, do we?
Too,
yep, let's give them some sluices.
I'm
going to find some sluices.
Well, and like I say, I just wanted to say hello to David and
nice talking to you,
let him know everything's going good in Texas.
Good. Hope everything goes good with your wife.
Same
yeah, it will.
That's good.
Y'all have a great evening, and let somebody else jump in here.
All right, great hearing from you, man.
Later, John.
All right, good to hear from you. Bye.
Thanks for calling.
So who we got now?
Okay, next caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Luke Duke from Indiana.
All right, Luke Duke. There he is.
Yep.
Yeah, how you guys doing tonight?
All right.
Good.
Good.
You're the winner.
He's already
cool.
on the list.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, I've been wanting to try out this new Dream Mat product. I've had the other mattings and good results, but I've been really wanting to try it. So
everything works good. Everything's getting better.
Yeah.
So that's the hope is that we keep getting better products and having more fun and catching more gold.
Right. That's the key.
Yep.
Right on.
David, I was going to ask you. I know you have a couple people that exclusively make sluice boxes with your Dream Mat in it. How many? I know you got Ron and Paul and Dustin out in Australia. You got any other people that are doing it?
Well, we got the new guy on board, which is Tom Matheson from West Coast West Coast Mining Supply. No, what's it? Mountain West Mining. Yeah, West Coast Mining Supply is the guy that's on the Oregon coast, basically. And then there's Mountain West Mining, which is Ron Matheson. I'm probably getting his name wrong. He's going to be mad at me. And he's making high bankers and sluice boxes. And so, we're dialing that in. And I have a buddy that makes me some, but Tom's actually going to be taking it over for making some boxes for me because Frank just isn't able to do it anymore. His health is giving him issues, and he has other projects he wants to do besides make sluice boxes for Dave. So Tom Matheson's going to make some boxes for us. He makes high bankers. He actually just did a show a week before your guys' show on the West Coast, and so he's going to be making some boxes, and then I get inquiries. I get inquiries every month. Can I make some prospecting equipment for Dream? Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. I got a distributor page that's also links all my distributors around the world, my international distributor page plus the United States. And so I got distributors in the United States plus around the world for Dream Mat. And of course, Dustin in Australia makes them, and Julian in France make mats, our boxes, but we don't want to order from there. That's a little bit shipping. But I'm also going to start a page for equipment also. I'm not interested in being the manufacturing guy. I want to make the mats, and I want the market to tell me what people are really looking for so I can design mats for great pieces of equipment. So I'm going to have a manufacturing page that's going to have people in the United States because, of course, I'm not going to go out of the United States. It'll list people like Paul for up in Canada, people if they want to find someone in Canada that makes equipment. And, and
another caller on the line.
But basically, so people can see where they can go get the turnkey solution. And, of course, I'm going to work with Tom because he's only a couple hours away. He's less than 4 hours away, and he comes and picks up his mats, and when he does, he'll drop off sluice boxes for me. So I'll have, of course, some bare minimum stuff, which this spring it'll look like I'll actually have a high banker series and some sluice boxes that I have now. They'll look a little different now. I'll have to change the pictures. And we're trying to make, what I'm trying to do is not compete with a lot of people who are making these high-end sluice boxes and really dialing out their product and going the extra mile. What I'm trying to do is make sluice boxes that are the bare minimum, bare bones. It's just a box. It fits the dream mat, has a nice slick plate like I like it. So like the ones I have now, that it's a nice slick plate. It goes in, nice transition. Everything's super simple. It is a great price. So there's no frills, no foo-foo. And not that that stuff isn't fun and people don't want to buy it. It's just I'm trying to keep the cost down so people come in and out with a good deal. And it's pretty funny, and that's on, a lot of people say, geez, I wish I had just bought a box from you. I didn't realize how affordable they were. And they are. But at the same time, I'm going to go you'll be able to go to the next page with equipment people, and you could go as far up their product line as you want to go, and that are Sport and Dream Mat tailored products like Ron, Paul, Tom Matheson, and there's a couple guys that bugged me on the East Coast. They just haven't launched anything yet, and there's a guy on the West Coast that wants to do it, and he hasn't launched anything yet. But they had people that want to build equipment and start Sport and Dream Mat. But it takes time. But it'll come around.
Yeah. We haven't anything else, Luke Duke? You have any of us on Facebook?
I don't believe so.
Well, friend request me, Luke.
Okay.
Facebook, and
Jesse
give me your information.
or Ed Marvin.
Either one of us.
Okay, I will.
Hey,
my Facebook page is the funniest because I'm the funniest guy. These guys aren't as funny as me. Ed and Jesse aren't as funny as I am. I make fun of these guys a lot. So.
Should I show them some of the jokes you text?
Well, probably not on a night we're talking about product, but probably on another night we could. Detrimental.
Yeah. We have another caller behind Luke Duke that's been waiting.
All right, guys.
Good talking to you.
Get a hold of us or email us. Marvin at flashingyourpan.com or friend us on Facebook, and we'll get that address to David, and you'll get yours out to you, Luke.
All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And thank you, David.
You bet. Have fun.
Not a
All right, I will.
It's
you guys have a good night. Thanks.
You too. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Kent Fackler, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hey, it's Kent. How's it going, Kent?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right. Good seeing you at the show over the weekend.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yep. It was a lot of work, though.
Yeah, well.
Oh, buddy, I'm telling you.
I didn't get much time in the painting zone, but I got a little bit there.
I never got time to get there.
Well, that's
I was busy down at the booth trying to sell stuff for Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to sell stuff for David too.
Yeah. No, I've been a beta tester for Dave. The first mat failed like he expected. He sent me a new mat, and I've been running dream mats up in Athens, Michigan for 2 years in the high bankers up there. And phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
made this competition look stupid up there.
Well, and not just the fact that it catches the gold the way it does, but how durable it is. Like I was telling Dave earlier, I've got the same situation with me that happened with you, happened with me. You know, that first set of mats that he sent out were, they just disintegrated. I mean, right off the bat. So he sent me one also, and I've been using that mat. Well, actually, no, that's the one Ed has now. Ed has that mat that's been out and abused since that very first time.
Yeah, so I'm running.
I passed that one. I passed that one on Ed when I got a new one.
I don't have. I have a good mat. I don't have the one with.
No. Right. You have a good mat.
Right.
I had 10 buckets of resin sent to me for my supplier, and it was an accident. It was a purchase order accident. They forgot to mark UV inhibitor and put the UV in it. And 10 buckets of resin sent to me, and I sent mats out all over the world, and I replaced every one of those at my cost. But hey, it happens. We survived. We moved on.
We know it was your distributor's fault, your suppliers, and not yours.
Yeah. It happens. You know what? Life's too short to worry about those things.
That's right.
Yeah, just gotta keep going.
It happens.
Yeah, but see now that's what, been 3 years.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yep.
Not quite 2.5, but yep.
Yeah. That first sentence. Oh, I thought you were.
My question for Dave is, I have a gold grabber dredge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knows anything about them.
Not really. I know about the gold grabber. There's a gold grabber that's like looks kind of like a cube, and it's like in a stand, and it has a drawer and stuff like that. I'm familiar with that piece of equipment. I've actually seen that run a couple times, but I'm not familiar with the dredge version. I've never actually knew they made.
Yeah, dredge goes from 18 to 20 inches wide on the back end. When can we build a mat for that thing?
We could, maybe we could
change the box.
Well,
don't change perfection.
Well, you'll have to send me some pictures, and we'll have to see if we can tape together or glue together or splice together some kind of mirage-me, of love, because every once in a while I get a coal mat and then wouldn't be hurt to do some cutting on it.
Well, I laugh at Jeffery and all that, change dredges. My first choice was a Proline, and I got into Alan Tree's gold grabber dredge.
Great
and that thing will outdo anything out there with just carpet in it. Now I want to see Dream Mat in it after I've seen it run through my high banker. It's phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to figure out something fun.
I'll call you, Dave. I got your number.
Don't call me any names.
No. Nope, you got a great product, buddy. Keep going.
No, yeah, great product, without a doubt.
Definitely.
Without a doubt.
We'll get you a free little. I'll get you a free little sluice. Just text me your address again. I don't want to have to scroll back that far because I'm lazy, and I'll send you a little mini sluice.
A mile. Yeah, you got to scroll through a mile of text.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to do that. So
how many times have I been giving you my address over and over again? And you always say, I'm too lazy to scroll all the way up. Give it to me again.
I actually have your address, and it makes me mad. I start scrolling back, and I don't find it. And then I realize I got it in my phone contacts. I don't need to be trying to scroll back through a message. Then about that time you send it to me, I'm like, I got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Nope, you got a great product, buddy. Just keep going.
All right. Thanks for calling, man.
All right, guys. Let you go. Have a good night.
Kent. Hey, Kent. Feel free to check out our other shows and call in on those nights too.
I'm trying to. I forget about the day on Thursday or Tuesday night thing.
Yep. It's
I
like,
apologize.
okay, well, we'll let it happen again.
All right. Love you guys. See ya.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
See you soon, Kent.
Later.
Oh,
Kent's a funny dude. I met him a few years ago up at the Swank.
Yeah. Him and Scott.
Yep.
Couple of good guys.
Two brothers, right?
Yeah, two brothers prospecting.
Right.
Out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
You got any more callers call in?
I don't know.
We've given 3 away. I think we got 2 more to go, right?
Okay.
So you got anything else in the works? Oh wait, you don't want to talk about that yet because you're not ready.
Well, I don't know. We could talk about that. We talked about that the turbocharger cube that we're going to do this holiday. That's going to be right along with this little pocket sluice for free shipping. We're going to do the turbocharger cube, and I'm gonna make those mats for the turbocharger cube green, just for kind of Christmassy color. I was going to buy some red, but red don't UV good, and it costs like 6 times as much as the regular dye, and I'm cheap.
Yeah.
And so I decided that it's just green's Christmassy enough. So
yeah, I think green would be good.
Green and purple, green and scarlet. Anyways, so I'm gonna do that for the mini mat pattern. The regular cube mat will be green. The micro mat on top is already a purple color, so it's Christmassy enough. So we're gonna go ahead and kick those out there with some clamps, and I'll get some little clamps, and I'll get them bent up and get them powder coated or painted, whatever, and we'll have the clamps for them, and then folks will be able to get basically basically the package for $80, which normally would be 120, because a little less than 120. It'll be around 120 with the shipping, so they'll be able to get it for $80, and so they can get 3 mats for the price of 2, and that way they can get the good indicator mat and be able to see, and then in the rest of the mat, and they're going to be able to turn their water flow up, maybe get a newer pump that they've always wanted to try because maybe their old little pump is wearing out, because they do, and run material, run it faster, go out and do some gemstone collection. I'm telling you, if I am been really thinking about next season, and I'm gonna force myself to break away from the norm, because the norm's comfortable, and we always want to try and do better than what we have in our same hole, and think for some reason we're gonna get the lucky strike out of that hole because we've been there that many times. But I'm gonna go down to Helena, which is about 4 hours away, and they got sapphires, and I'm gonna do some prospecting with the cube in a hole on the reservoir that a guy's told me about that I could do that on, and go find gold and sapphire hunting. Rather than I go up to a camp and pay to do it, but they got their own system. They do it a certain way. But I'm going to go gemstone looking, because I tell you what, that cube mat is a gemstone machine.
I saw that video you did.
I just wanted to test it to see really how crazy it would be, and I'm just amazed at if you're in a gemstone area and there's also gold, that kind of system is pretty do you a pretty good job, and so I want to do that and see, get some sapphires and maybe get them cut up and faceted, whatever. I have a friend whose wife does that for her kind of her retirement time. She does the faceting or faceting, whatever, cuts the stones. And if I give her, a bunch of them and say cut the nice ones up for me, I can maybe, give it to my wife, and she'll have a useless piece of bent metal with a rock stuck to it for her finger.
Nice. It's always good to have useless bent metal, huh?
with a rock glued to it. Yeah.
Yeah, with rocks glued to it, right?
Yes, it is, Dano. Hey, come on,
So-
call in, get your chance.
David,
Time's running
what's your email address?
prospectorsdream@hotmail.com.
There you go, Kent. prospectorsdream@hotmail.com. Kent was wanting to know what your email was. There you go.
Yep.
I just put it in there.
Yep. Yeah, just type it in there. prospectorsdream@hotmail.com. Yep. Yeah.
You got hoot mail, Ed.
Oh, I do have hoot mail.
Hoot mail. It's hot.
Yeah.
Not hoot.
Blonde fingers.
Yeah, I still get, just like today, or his last couple of days, I've been getting bugged by a guy because he's so excited because, he's saw the Dream Mat run for the first time, and yeah, I heard about your product. I've seen some videos, and I went out there and we watched it run, and man, I gotta get me one of those, and he goes, this is crazy, and it's funny, it still happening, it's still, the newness is still there. It's still happening where I get calls and emails from people all the time saying, I need to advertise better because I should be a millionaire and I got the greatest product out there. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe everybody isn't using this. You need to advertise more. You need to do this more, and I'm like, yeah, I got a regular great day job and I got to pay attention to what's important. And I got a young family, and I do this on the side. So it's one of those things where
turn it down a little, buddy.
Got her.
Right.
So it's one of those things where we're taking it at a good pace. Dustin's doing a good job helping me out. He's always helping me out, which is good. And we've been talking about some growth, and I've actually had a lot of talk from a lot of people about people wanting to come along, partner with me, and help me out. And it'll eventually will happen, and I like where it's at now. I got people making the mats for me, and I do the shipping and or do the easy stuff, take the orders, do the shipping, and they make them, and I got some other people that want to kind of take over the whole thing and make it happen. But I don't want to get cut out of my own deal.
Yeah, I was going to say something.
You could go on Shark Tank to do that.
No, because see, I gotta give those guys something back for the money you give me. And it's
they're gonna want more than you.
That's what I
want to give too.
I don't want to pay for my house 3 times over like I do for my mortgage. and I don't want to do a GoFundMe because I haven't. I don't need other people's. I want the product to be. What you would call, I want the product to be explosive out of sheer excitement and people really liking it. And, I still remember the high fives me and my uncle gave each other in the shop when we did the first successful test on a Dream Mat profile, and which was actually more like the Kairos Vortex system. And we thought it was an accident. The results were so bad, so good. I mean, we thought it was an accident because he got mad because we ran this dirt that we had run over and over and over again. It was our test dirt. We had lead in it, and all the gold was gone. And we had been running all these different systems. We built them all. We built them. I can name them, and you guys would get bored of listening to the names. They sound like Wikipedia of all the different holy grails that we had purchased, built. And we were running all these different systems and doing all these tests and control environment and doing all this weird stuff and trying to figure out to find that holy grail. And then we started developing the Vortex system because we wanted to do something on our own because I just felt that the hydrocyclone had such good merit after studying the mining industry as long as I was, about 6 months studying advanced mining techniques. And we ran the dirt on the first test because we got to work, actually look at it and work, and everything was working and the profiles were looking good and everything was dialing in, and we had like 10 different prototypes before us that looked very similar, but they all had this fatal flaw about them that made them not work. And then we finally got this thing dialed in, and it was working good, and everything seemed to be pretty balanced. And we ran the dirt through it. And then we did the pan, and we're expecting to see all this lead because we were testing with lead because, you know, we just took all the gold out of the system. So we were putting lead in it because it was easy. We didn't have to worry about losing stuff. And it was, you know, and my uncle's stingy about his gold. Anyways, so we look at the pan and there's all this gold in it. And my uncle looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're running my good dirt. I told you to leave my good dirt alone for me. That's my dirt. Stay out of my dirt. Just run your own stinking dirt." And I go, "Look at all the lead in here." And he goes, "Why are you putting lead in my dirt?" And I'm going, "It's not your dirt. This is the dirt from our bucket." And he goes, "Well, where did the gold come from?" And I go, and then he looked at me and he realized it. It's been there all along. All the air systems couldn't catch it. And we looked at each other, and we didn't even say it. And it was a high five. And it was realizing that this system is catching gold that had been through hundreds of tests that other systems haven't caught. And it was a very exciting moment. And then, of course, we had to confirm that over and over again, but it was catching the pixie dust.
And I know that feeling because that was the same thing that happened with me when I first tested your mat. Was that I ran material that I knew shouldn't have had any gold in it at all. But I was just totally amazed at how much more gold I found after running the buckets that I had sitting around for this whole time.
Oh, yeah,
for, you know, a few years.
That day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were, weren't you?
Yeah.
And we did the same thing at your house.
Yep. Dano did that too on my gold cube with Dream Mat.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that feeling. You know, when you've been running material over and over again and you know there's nothing in it, then you get this. Then you get this damn mat. Then you get this mat. And it catches even more gold. You're going, what?
I got this spot where the flood gold makes no sense where it's at. Somewhat it makes sense because you find some rusty indicating of mineral, and you know there could be a concentration there. But there's a lot of just chaos going on, and it's a total vortex in itself. Comes to an elbow, comes back around, and just deposits all this flood gold. And that's all there is there. But sometimes there's some pretty nice flakes. In the last trip, you're going to see that me and my brother went down there. We went down to just have fun. He goes, "Where do you want to dig?" And he goes, "Well, if we want to get really good gold, we could dig out this hole and pack the buckets all the way over here and dump them into the sluices." I go, "Or we could just have fun and not do anything hard. Just put the sluices in the water and just stick your dang shovel in the dirt right there and just dig." And I go, and he goes, "What do you want to do?" And he goes, "Let's just dig right here." And I dug up at one spot, and he dug down their spot. And dang, if we didn't find gold, that wasn't flakes. It was like they weren't pickers, but they were thick flakes. And it's like, it's no rhyme or reason. And it's so cool where we're screwing off talking about this, talking about hunting, talking about Dream Mat, talking about other things in life. And it's more yabbity, me and my brother talking just because we hadn't been, you know, around each other for a while. And we're out in the woods hanging out. And we're sitting here just pounding it, man, putting down this fine gold. And because this spot only, you know, it's one of those deals where you think you're onto it and you're working really hard, and then you get about you do all this work and you catch all this really fine, super fine stuff. And you're wondering, geez, I wonder if I dug past the pay layer. And then you screw around on the surface and you catch all this bigger stuff and think, man, I just need to move all this surface material. Yep, it is funny, you know. It's just one of those things. Prospecting is what it is, and when you're flood gold is hard to chase because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
And it concentrates after a while if you have a good spot that a lot of people haven't dug in, and you don't get that hit and miss where you can't tell if you've been in someone's hole that was dug a couple of years ago. And how'd that hole get filled in? Did they fill it in good themselves, or was the hole filled in with flood material and maybe it has a lot of good gold? You know, prospecting is an interesting because the creek can disguise as it goes through the high season mark stuff that's happened, and you can't hardly tell. And there's some telltale signs that you're digging in someone's old hole. Beer cans, you know, are telltale sign, and some garbage, finding stuff like that, and that's telltale. But
we have MacGyver muscle machine on the line now, and he's been
All right.
waiting pretty
Sure.
patiently.
Good. Let's get him on.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing, bud?
Good. How you guys doing?
How you doing, Jeff?
We're doing pretty good,
Good.
listening like you.
Yeah. I just love it.
Yeah,
I just love it when our guests come on and they just talk. You learn a
Yeah,
whole lot.
listen.
We don't have to coax them into talking about this or that. So we got the gold guy
Yeah.
here talking.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a pretty good little product there. I've seen it, some videos of it. And pretty good
I
concept.
tell you what, when you actually see it yourself, videos are good and they're great, but you always question videos, right? But when you're
Yeah.
there actually running material on a piece of equipment that's got that dream mat in it, you'll be amazed. If you're working in an area that you're used to, and you just get, you pretty much know that I'm going to run a half a day and get 20 specs, and you go that same area with your dream mat, and you do the same amount of running, and now you got 40 specs. Something's different.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and like I said earlier, that's what convinced me that this is the mat I want to run, at least until somebody comes up with a better mat.
Dirty buggers, whoever they are.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Whoever they are.
It'll happen. Change always happens.
Oh, well, if no one improved the wheel, just think where we'd be.
Yep.
Riding on wooden wheels still.
Right.
Yeah, so, I got a Keen 3-inch and I got a Keen 4-inch, and I don't get any gold because I'm in Utah. So if I don't get any gold, and if I had the dream mat, I might get some gold.
You might.
I got videos of some guys in Utah, that they get good gold in Utah.
No, they must be in Utah. Yeah, they must be in Texas or Mexico or something.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that he's
place.
in Utah.
Kind of a running joke.
Okay.
Yeah, people from Utah don't want anybody from anywhere else knowing that there's gold in Utah, so they tell us there's no gold in Utah.
Treasure. So there's
treasure.
Gold or treasure.
Don't bother going to Utah.
Right. Yeah, all the Spanish markings on the trees just say, turn around, go back. There's no gold in Utah.
Yeah,
right.
And the skiing there is terrible. No good snow skiing in Utah either.
So, yeah, I called in and just to one-up Jaron. It's his turn next, so.
Dream on. Dream mat.
We'll send you the
Dream on, Dream mat.
Yep.
So, Jeff,
yeah.
Send us your address again, buddy, and we'll pass it on to David so you could end up using one of these handy-dandy pocket sluices and get some of that gold that's not in Utah.
Right.
Yeah, you must come here to Utah a lot. You come to No Tell'em Creek, right? Because that's where we go, and there's no gold there, so.
Yeah.
We'll have to come out and check it out sometime.
Oh, don't bother.
Well, I have friends in Utah,
Yeah. Okay. I'm your friend, I guess.
Yeah. Now you got yourself
a
little pocket sluice.
All right, sounds good. I'll get off the line and let somebody else get on.
I think we got one more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.
Sharon says, damn, Jeff is catching up.
I'm not worried about Mr. Lodak. He won't call in, so he's not going to get one.
He has before. Who I know won't call in is Bob.
Bob?
Bob.
Bob?
Bob.
You mean Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
Hmm.
You know, that Bob Drake dude.
Yeah.
But Jaron's called in twice so far, so can't say he'd never call in.
Right.
He might if we pressured him. I think Jaron should try Dream Mat in his gear, and maybe he'd want to have a Dream Mat get together, flag get together, and put the other one to bed. Sorry, Ray.
So I got this message. If that thing was full size, it would put everything else away. Exactly the cell size I've been preaching for a year now. Got that from Adam.
What?
Adam tried your Dream Mat a while back. What was that?
Was he like the Ant-Man Adam? That Adam?
Yeah. That Adam.
Yeah. I gave him 8-inch, and he tested it, and he tested it against, I think, I forget which mat he tested it against, and he really liked it, and he wanted to support my product, and he did some other stuff where he took off and did that on the road thing and stuff like that. So he just needs to just let me know what super sluice he's got, and we'll have to fill it with Dream Mat so he can be happy and not be sad that he doesn't have, the best mat.
We don't want him to be a sad Adam.
Yeah, we don't want him to be sad, Yeah, I watch some of his videos on YouTube every once in a while when I got time. I'll watch him. He goes be cruising around California and other places.
He's getting ready to head back. He's getting ready to head back in December, right, Ed?
Yeah, after Christmas, he'll be stopping by for a rest stop at my house.
Right.
So.
Yep. Yeah, but like I said, he's. I know he's talked about the cell size before. And he thinks that the cells need to be smaller, but that's his opinion.
It's amazing, a lot of people say, you should only run a certain classification, and it's really not so much that, it's how much water you got moving through the box. If you got a deep flow, even if it's gentle, you got a deep flow going through the box, that deep flow is a wall or a hand pushing on that larger rock, and it moves them out of the way pretty easy and rolls them off. And I've had people that from Rose Creek that were, I forget the guy's name, where he was running shale actually unclassified through the mini mat 8-inch and into I think it was either a 12-inch or a 10-inch sluice, a regular Dream Mat. And he said he was running the box and he felt he was kind of overloading it and he thought it was binding up with shale and he just wanted to see how it was going to work. And he was actually expecting it to be pretty bad, because the way he ran it, he saw rocks in there and they were piling up, he says, and he clear rocks out with his fingers a little bit and he's running it and getting stuff moving. And he goes, and then you can see that the shale was kind of stacked in the cells. And he thought, well, yeah, that didn't work very good. And he did his clean out. And he says that 8-inch mat caught, even the way it looked like it was stacked up and clogged, that mini mat caught most of the gold, and there wasn't hardly any gold in the Dream Mat tailing. Even though it looked like it wasn't even working, he goes, it caught that fine gold. And I'm like, cool. So anyways, he actually has that on a little video. He talks about it, and you can actually see him running the material. But, so I run this thing in the flow fills the box. In the bigger rocks, just the flow kind of grabs them and rolls them off. Every once in a while, a little bigger rock may catch and hang up, and I just give her a little launch with my finger, because they're, just so that, everything keeps flowing smooth. And it processes the material, and I'm always amazed when I pull it out, and I'm thinking because there's all that water in there, it's going to blow it clean maybe, but with full and it's more of a gentle flow in the cells. The bottom two cells, actually the bottom cell's a higher cell and the middle cell's a higher cell, the front one's a higher, and it's got two low ones. But those bottom 3 rows are just packed with black sand, and I'm just like, man, that's just crazy. And when I did that little bucket run, I had the hose going into the first 2 cells. So the first 2 cells are like completely just launching clean. It was like, because the hose is flowing right into it, and it's like a little mini dredge, profile going into it. And that thing was just launching. So really, it was only the 4 bottom cells that were actually catching anything, and it did great. Just right there in the bucket. So it's kind of I'm always amazed when the product surprises me when I run it incorrectly, I feel, and it still does a good job.
and that's that's the thing that I typically push about your mat is it doesn't matter how bad of a miner you are, how bad you are at running your material. The mat is very forgiving to the miner. In other words, you can run it wrong, you can run it too steep, too fast, and it's still going to catch the gold. I mean, because as you know, that's part of my testing. I take it to the extreme to find out where it's going to start blowing out. What's not going to work?
You don't want finicky equipment. You don't want finicky equipment. You don't want to be. You want to be foolproof. Right. I hate to say the word fool, but you want to be idiot-proof. I hate to say the word idiot.
Right.
But you want something that a child can run. Right. And have fun and still catch gold. And I have a friend up in Canada, Christian Sutherland, and when he first ran Dream Mat, right when it first came out, he got a mat, and he gave me a really cool testimony. I always remember the real cool ones. He goes, Dave, I really appreciate what you're doing for the prospecting community. What you're doing is basically making everybody who's a novice an expert at sluicing. He goes, because you can't run it wrong. And he's high banking up there with Paul. He's one of those guys that one of these days I'm going to get up there and prospect with Paul Jarvis, and I'm going to hang out with Christian and his Adam or Anton, and there's another couple guys up there. For some reason, I got mental block. There's about 4 of them. I want to go out prospecting with these guys and meet them because they've been just great supporters and Dream Mat fans, and they're all in Jarvis's area, and go out and go one of these days. Just go up there and go prospecting with the guys and have fun.
Oh, heck yeah. Spend the weekend, sit around campfire.
Well, go up to, if I go up to Alberta, it's going to be before the weekend. Holy cow, that's a pound a mile drive.
Okay. Well, however long you need to go.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just have to fly up there because Paul's got all the equipment. What the heck do I need to drive up there for, Just fly up there.
There you go.
And my arms might get tired, but it'll be quicker.
We have one more, Jesse.
One more. You got Hook, Luke, Duke, John Bull.
Dano and I have to wake up early. So
yeah, it is getting late.
I'm sitting here already starting to fall asleep.
What are you talking about? I've been hearing you snore.
Oh, I'm sure you have a couple times before I moved the mic. 5 o'clock comes mighty early in the morning, my friend. I'm telling you. I know you're retired and you can stay up all night.
I know. But I was getting ready here to start winding it down. Although I do want to say something about Ron for the Hills Mining. His sluice box, his River Raider, is like the most awesome sluice box that you can get. It's so easy to set up. It's only 6 inches wide. And a creek critter too. Right. But that River Raider, dude, you just throw the dirt in there, throw the rocks in there. It's just fabulous running little sluice box. Well, it's not little, it's 3 foot, 4 foot long. But it's only 6 inches wide, and it sets up so easy. It just sets up so easy. I love that River Raider. So there you go, Ron. I'm pushing it for you. I'm pushing it for you at the show too.
We're gonna get that equipment page going on my site, and I'm gonna, for the guys who like Ron and Paul and and Tom, who basically they're so excited about Dream Mat. These guys, and they've been been prospectors for a long time. And they want to start a product line off of it, And so like what Dustin did in Australia, but we can't get a gold rat high banker because Dustin won't send us any because I'm teasing him. He's offered to send me one many times. Anyways, So because it's just so far and it costs so much to ship, you know. And
right.
So we're seeing people that are kind of doing what Dustin did. They're passionate about gold recovery and they want to build nice equipment. And it's like their attitude is, well, if I'm going to build nice equipment, why would I have the status quo in the bottom of my box? Because it's about gold recovery. And they've tested equipment and they're open-minded enough where they're not going to basically just close their eyes and just say, well, I'm going to go with the most popular brand or whatever. And popularity doesn't come by accident either. Those other products.
And it's not cheap.
And the other products are good products, and they didn't come by accident. They all did an improvement. And they were all the rave in their day. And I'm going to be in the same place in a couple of years down the road as anybody else does. Someone's going to come along with something that's going to be just dang good. And I'm just going to have to be humble and just enjoy the prospecting community and be enjoyed to see new products come forth, because that's what's going to happen. And change is inevitable. And no one man's got the ultimate solution to everything. And it's just exciting when you see people wanting to wrap a new product around your product in that synergy. It's cool and it's exciting, you know. And look at, you know, Paul, you know, he's kind of doing what Dustin did in Australia, up in Canada. And it was pretty brave too, because there's a lot of high banker manufacturers right around him, actually, and equipment manufacturers that they've been doing it for a lot longer. So here's a guy that's just around Dream Mat is basically, you know, hitting a home run. And a lot of it is the synergy, because he's got new ideas and he's listening to his customers and he's seeing what other new ideas are out there in the community around the world, because we're so globally connected now. And he's coming out with some really cool stuff. And he's had to build some really stupid stuff to do it, because he's willing to fail. So he's built some pretty. He said, "Dave, what about this? What about that?" And I give my input. And somebody goes, "Yeah, it didn't work," but you know. And so Paul's actually built some stuff before he's built some. You know, I like it this way. He's got a good look to his boxes. They're sturdy. They got the bent over edge.
Very.
They're not just a single edge, you know, and that makes a big deal when you're moving stuff around and it's twisting, you know. And then, you know, and he's got the plain Jane product line, which is at a discount, or you would say basically economy. And he's got the high end powder coated where it looks good and it's fun. And there's a lot, you know, and a lot of times when you're into a hobby and you really get into it, because I've been into a lot of hobbies, especially like fly fishing. I can't tell you how many rods I built and paid too much money for and broke them all, by the way. And I actually just broke my rod again this last summer, my new rod that I bought for myself for Christmas. I told myself I was never going to buy a high-end fly rod again because I always break them. I did, and I broke it. You know, and we enjoy having nice equipment, because we enjoy what we do, and we want to have nice equipment that performs well, and not only performs well, but is sometimes cool. You know, and we like fun. And
Duke's. Paul's equipment, very sturdy. I have his cleanup sluice, very sturdy, well built, welded, nice and tight, not leaking anywhere. It sets up, easy to clean, easy to use. I have it hooked up to my. I hook it up to my hoseless sluice stand. Got it. So it just works really great. I like it. He does a good job with it. Pretty stuff. You know, his powder coating and stuff.
Hey guys.
Yeah, but it's getting late, and I know.
Calling, and Dano just left. I gotta wake up at 5, so we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right.
Ed, call in if someone wants. That last one's not gonna go anywhere. Then I guess David.
Just choose the last person on the list that said they wanted one in the chat. Get their info and send them.
I got him.
All right.
Yeah, I got him. He said it a couple of times, and I haven't been ignoring. I've just been waiting. Justin White, Witte.
Right, he did.
Yep.
I saw him.
Yep. Justin, friend me on Facebook.
Jesse
And then
Mendez.
Yep. And then I'll send Dave your address. How's that sound?
All right. Or, yeah.
Yep, that works.
But it's
WITTIE.
Yeah.
IE.
11:30.
Yep. Well, Dave, thanks. And I will get a hold of you tomorrow. We got some talking to do, and it's been fun.
Wait a second.
What?
Someone called.
No.
Hello.
Hey, Ed. Dano.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Dano's
It's
not
HD.
here.
Oh, it's HD Shovel, Ed.
Hey, what's up, Ed?
Not much. I figured I'd call in since everybody's falling asleep on you, and thought I'd give a holler real quick.
Is that Ed?
You know,
That's Ed from
yeah.
the Gold Show.
Hi, Ed.
From this. How you doing, you guys? Yeah.
Good.
It's hard for me to listen and catch up to you guys all the time on the chat because I'm always at work. I work nights, so I reach over and look at my phone at the time and try to catch up on the chat. Lucky it lags enough to where I'm kind of up to date at the same time.
Yeah. See, if you would have called in sooner, you could have got one of those sluice boxes.
We'll send you one.
I hear you.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
What's that? No, I didn't.
He said he'll send you one too.
Yeah, just send me your address again and text. Just message me your address again, and I'll send you off one.
Oh, cool.
Oh, sweet.
Thanks, David. I can.
Yeah, David. Appreciate it.
I can get your address to him, Ed. So.
No worries.
All right. Yeah. Heck yeah, that'd be fun because I throw a test down on it down in Georgia in that silty, muddy clay dirt, and their gold's nothing but flour out there.
It'll catch it.
And Ed had a question in the room about which one of your mats would work best for clay, mikey soil.
The clay and mica.
Sounds like he needs a speed banker.
Yeah. It depends on how much material you're moving. You know, it's really, that's a hard one. You know, you're moving a lot of material. You'd want the bigger system if you're moving slower. I think they're all gonna work good. It's just the only problem with clay is just getting it busted up. So before it runs the length of the mat, it has a chance to go through the cells instead of roll off. You know, that's the whole deal with clay, is busting it up.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the problem is I'll sit and do the stream sluice and I get sidetracked and I end up letting it wash itself out. I don't pay attention enough.
Yeah, the bigger cells will be a little bit more forgiving with the clay if they get a clog of clay in them as opposed to the smaller cells. Yep.
So you'd probably recommend the standard dream mat.
Yep.
The standard dream mat.
Yeah. Those are 1-inch cells. Is that what those are? 1 or 2 inch?
3/4 inch is the actual cell size that the pocket that falls into, and there's a ratio that goes around it. That's a mathematical equation. It's not the golden ratio. I wish it was, but the golden ratio didn't work actually. You know, all those golden ratio fans that are actually, that's like a religion. You know, the 1 point whatever times each other, 1.3 or whatever it is, almost pi. And the golden ratio were the Nautilus shell and all that kind of stuff. There's a religion behind it almost. In the golden ratio, actually, it doesn't. And there's a frequency religion behind it. And a lot of stuff in nature repeats itself. But anyways, blah 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 blah. The golden ratio doesn't work with the dream mat. It doesn't catch the gold like it should because it just doesn't work. Too bad. I wish it was the golden ratio because then I could say for some reason it was just cosmic reason meant to be, but it's not quite that.
Hey Ed,
Yeah.
Friend me and Jesse on Facebook if you haven't already, and message me your address. I could get it off Patreon, but
he's too lazy.
If you have Facebook, friend us anyway, because I want to get in touch with you next time I head towards Nashville anyway to see my stepson.
Oh.
Because he's not far from Dixie, too. Also, there's fossils up in Dixie anyway. So.
Yeah. I don't do much stuff on Facebook, but I have an account somewhere. So I'll go ahead and jump on it.
All right. Well, it's
on that note,
funny.
I think.
Oh wait, I was thinking this today, Ed. It's funny. You're Ed with the Judy, and I'm Ed with the Judy.
You just now realized that?
Oh well, I was so tired and busy at the show. Are you kidding? A lot of stuff was going in one ear and out the other, and I don't remember catching her name as Judy. I'm sorry, don't let Judy know.
It's all right. I'll let her watch the replay though.
But
well, great.
Thank you for calling in, Ed. It was great meeting you at the Golden Treasure Show over the weekend. And
yeah, it was great. I started. Yeah, sorry I didn't walk around and talk to more people. Once I got in that panning booth, I didn't want to leave.
Well, Judy got a nice picker, and you got a bigger picker, so I could understand why. You know, you're not the only one that got the gold bug or fed their gold bug at the panning trough. There were a lot of people there all day.
There's just something about free gold, you know?
Yeah. Free gold's always good.
Yeah,
so I think we should call it a night after 11:30. You got to get up early. I know David's still 2 hours behind us, so he's going. I'm getting warmed up.
Well, you two can finish it on Facebook. I'm sure you will. I'm sure I'll have to turn down our Dream Mat group on Facebook on the notifications tonight. So, Ed, thanks again for calling. Great meeting you. I know I'll see you on the stream again someday. And thank you for being our newest Patreon. It's really appreciated.
Absolutely.
That actually, we couldn't do a lot of what we do without help from people like you.
Right.
You help pay for motel rooms for gold shows and gas and trying to get out a better product to you here on YouTube. And greatly appreciated. And I'll be
no problem.
I'll be mailing you a little care package anyway, welcoming you to the Patreon community.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go and let you guys wrap up and, do your last end of your stream.
Thanks for calling in, Ed.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you. We'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, David.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
I have to say, Ed and his wife were really cool. I look forward to seeing them again.